baby. Digital deceiver shadows live in the mix. White socks. We don't chase clout, we chase truth. Now let's go. Good morning. Happy Monday. Has this been a time? It has been a time. And I swear, I think every time I'm like, this isn't going to be a long live. I don't even have a lot of people to talk about. And then boom, pop, something happens. So the grid here isn't, hold on. Let me fix something real quick. Oh, this is going to get on my nerves. White Sox is already on one, y'all. So it's going to be a day. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, does anybody know how I get rid of the invite box? Oh, y'all hear him already? He is already on one. Okay, I'm going to have to fix it later because I'm already late. But I had to have a cup of coffee this morning, y'all. Because this may be a long one. Here we go. Are we going to have a good day today, sir? What are you looking for? Okay. You've done all that you're going to do. Now go sit down somewhere. So, oh, White Sox. All right. On the grid today is Fei Fei. And she was on the grid before last night, but after last night. White Sox, find somewhere to go. Then we have Tim and Angela. Reese. You guys might not remember him, but when I describe it, you might remember. Then we have Royal, or Black Mamba, as he goes by. Miss Raquel, and some of the things she said the other day in one of her lives. Good morning, Ambivalent. Good morning to everybody's here. I want to just say something real quick. Just because I don't say your name sometimes doesn't mean that I don't see you and I don't appreciate you. Certain names just pop up and I say hello. So please don't feel offended if I'm not saying good morning to you directly. I see all of you and I appreciate all of you. I don't want anybody to get offended, okay? But I'm going to talk to you about some of the things Raquel said in her live the other day. Then we have Kat. And it's getting worse, not better, y'all. Then we have J. Paul. You know I have some thoughts after what's happened over the last couple of days. And I want to talk about harmony again because it's not just about the beg. It is about her logic and reasoning. And I'm actually concerned about her adult daughter because some of the things she said don't even make sense. And then I got some extras because Team Medina went live last night to beg, of course. And I don't understand why people are so quick to give their money, but they don't take 5 minutes to think, is this reasonable? Does this even make sense? And I think we got a few others. I have some updates on people's accounts, just to watch and see. So, good morning to my mods. Daniel. Hold on. Since he's here, let's talk about him real quick. You aren't on the grid yet again, but you want to run your mouth. Okay, let's see. Are you looking for more followers, Daniel? Is that why you're here? So, Daniel does things that I consider manipulation. So the other day, he's live and he's talking to his audience. And we know that because he doesn't always have the funds, he can't always get his shot, his T shot, which is understandable. Without a job, you're going to have a hard time affording the medication that you need. But this is where the manipulation comes in. Daniel is a grown man who has been making decisions for his life for decades. And yet, he needs his audience to remind him of what leg he needs to put his T shot in. Why do you need grown people on a live to remind you what leg your T shot is in? Because see, for me, that's manipulation, because that's getting them so involved in what you need and what you have to do that when you don't have it, it's easy to say to them, guys, I don't have my shot. I don't have my tea. And let's be clear. He talks about how it makes him feel, how uncomfortable it is, all of the things. But you have a phone. If you need a reminder, put it in your phone. And all you got to do is say, remind me on this Saturday that it's my left leg. And then you can repeat that every 2 weeks. And then you do the same thing for the next leg. And you repeat it every 2 weeks. You don't need a bunch of people to remind you what leg you need to put your T shot in. At all. See, Daniel, you want to talk about me being on your neck, but if you would stay away, I'm not talking about you. But when you get off of your live at whatever ungodly time that is, you make sure you stay awake long enough to come in here and say something. You are not on the grid. So why are you here? But if you're going to be here, I'm going to clock you. That doesn't make sense. For somebody who wants to be left alone, why do you keep poking the bear as if I'm not still watching? Nobody's standing on your neck. You know who? You're standing on the necks of your supporters. That's who's standing on somebody's neck. You don't want to be talked about? Go over there and do the right thing. And stop manipulating people so that when you need something, they feel obligated because they're so invested in you that they have to give you money. Because lo and behold, what happens when you don't have tea? I mean the tea shot for anybody just coming in. Oh, they should be invested in whether you have your T shot or not. You are so incapable that you can't figure out how to remind yourself what leg you're on. Somebody make that make sense for me. And if you require that level of assistance, perhaps you need other assistance off the app. Because that's just ridiculous. Daniel, how many times have other people paid for your t-shirt? How many times? Let's not pretend that because you paid for it this last time that it's always been that way. Thank you, guys. Come on. And again, you keep coming in here. So what's your point? What's so crazy is you're defending people who don't even respect you. You came in while I was talking about Faye one day, talking about I'm standing on her neck. If you knew anything about the people I was covering, Faye in particular, we watched a video last night where she talked degradingly about the transgender community and how she didn't want it in her face. She didn't want to see it on TikTok. But yet, because all you care about is being anti-digital, you don't even take the time to listen to who I'm talking about. What's crazy is that, okay, you don't consider yourself a scammer? Stick around and listen to the people I'm talking about. Daniel, I only talk about what you put on a public app. So I don't know what you're talking about. But just like everybody else who don't have money to eat, they suddenly have lawyers. What info did I get that wasn't true? And what's so crazy is you have the opportunity to come in here and talk to me like an adult. And you have a lack of self-control that you couldn't even have an adult conversation. But you want to come in here and throw your shot as if it's going to make any difference whatsoever. Have you not figured out that I'm still going to go live? Right. Why don't y'all coalesce? Why don't you and Faye get together? You have multiple times said you didn't have money for food. You didn't have money for gas. Do we remember when you didn't even know what was going to happen? You said to your chat, if I get a fine, I can't pay it, so I'm just going to go to jail. You didn't even know what was going to happen yet. It's manipulation. You may not realize it. Okay. Daniel, do you think you're the first person to threaten us with a cease and desist? What's crazy is that other people have talked about you in way worse ways. But for some reason, there's a problem with me. Do what you do, baby. And I'm going to do what I do. And we'll let the chips fall where they may. But I will tell you that if you really had a lawyer and they were suggesting a cease and desist, they would tell you to stay out of my life. They would tell you that you antagonizing the situation defeats your purpose. But again, there's a lack of self-control. You can't even help yourself. Right. We've been through this before. I don't know why when they're like, oh, I got a lawyer, it's going to make a difference. So go run along, Daniel. You're not on the grid, but you keep coming in here. And I'm not even talking about you. So how can I get a cease and desist and I'm not even talking about you? But keep poking the bear. And when I go before your mysterious judge and say, well, judge, I'm not even talking about him, but he comes into my life and antagonizes the situation. How much do you think a judge is going to find that favorable? So go run along, go play in your playground, go do what you do. Because if you want me to turn my full attention on you, keep it up. Keep it up. Correct, Lumpy Pillows. If he went to my page, he would see an entire post about fair use. Okay. Sorry about that left turn, guys. Y'all didn't come in here to talk about Daniel. Let's go back to the grid. Oh, first things first. I know it's posted on my page, but a reminder that there's a live today. There is not a live on Wednesday. So turn your alarms off. Get some rest. Hey, Cat Daddy. How was your work day, Cat Daddy? And then there will be a live Friday and a sub live Sunday. Now, because there is no live on Wednesday, we've decided that we're going to start this. So Thursday, March the 5th, really Skittles. Well, wonderful. Let me write that down. Aaron. Okay, hold on. Let me finish this. So we're going to have Lighthouse with Dee. For anybody who is not familiar, the Lighthouse with Dee is a safe space to talk about mental health, regardless of where we are in life. You can be poor, you can be rich. You can live on the East Coast, the West Coast, or in some other country. We all have a common thread. We all have emotions. We all have ups and downs. So this is a way for us to talk about it. Now, there will be rules. There'll be no recommendations about medications or treatment. Now, we can talk about it. If you feel comfortable, you can share your story, but it won't be, you need to do this or that. You need to try this medication or that, because unless you are a licensed professional, which I hope to have some come in at some point, then we're not going to do that. But this is just about having a safe space for us to talk. Because while we do this, it doesn't mean that we don't have ups and downs as well. I don't understand why people feel like that. We've all been through some stuff. And especially when you get to a certain age, there's nobody that hasn't been through something. So that's what we're going to do there. Now, If you want the box, you have to put it in the comments. But let me get through some things first. So, who do I want to talk about first? Oh, let's do the add-on real quick. So last night, Megan came live and needed $17. And first she said 10 to 15, and then she said 17. Yes, by the way, I forgot the beginning. If you're a member of the team, hit the Daily Heart Me. If not, stick around. If you like what you see, join the team. Gifts are appreciated, not expected. I would do this regardless. And the only thing I ask is that when I change the photo, that you like the live until you feel the heart's tail and then take a break. If you want to like it after that, no problem. The goal in the taps is twofold. One is so that we end up on the For You feed so that new people can find out and save themselves from the heartbreak of giving money to somebody who doesn't even appreciate it. They're going to keep begging regardless of their circumstances. And it's also to make sure that when people who don't like what we do come in, that they don't get to take us down. Now, we have a backup account. It's Digital Deceivers Expose. By the way, if you're unaware, somebody has created a fake account using my logo. Block it. Report it and block it. Because I don't want you to get taken advantage by somebody who means you no good. Digital Deceivers Expose is the backup. Just in case we get taken down. Thank you, Charlene. Ty Verbo? I don't know. I don't know. Good morning, everyone. I struggled to watch him for more than 5 minutes. And after some of the things that I heard the other day about his mental health, about his brother, I think said that he has the mind of a 12-year-old. I don't know. Is he vile and disgusting? Absolutely. But I believe that he needs help rather than exposure. And of course, when you have people who claim that they are a part of a community to expose them, and they're going in and saying things just to watch him crash out for their enjoyment, I'm not going to add to that. He does crash out. And for people to say things, I heard somebody say that they pretended to be Britney Spears. There are people pretending to be stars talking to him so he crashes out. Like, for people who don't like what we do, go deal with that. Go deal with people like that. You want to be in here and create chaos for us who don't do that? Go talk to the people who do. Make some videos about them, because that's ridiculous. Hey, Scam. So let's see. She comes live last night, needed $7, and she was acting very like, it's urgent, I need it right now. And then she added in that she had to pick up some food. And she needed for an Uber. She needed food, she needed an Uber. And my first thought was, if you ordered food, why didn't you have it delivered? And if you ordered food, when you ordered it, you knew you didn't have the money for the Uber. So why did you order it? Like, I immediately start asking questions because that's what I do. And she's like, I just need help, guys. And she said I could pay you back in the morning. Somebody ordered it for her? Oh, okay. You don't get paid until Tuesday morning, ma'am. So where you getting the money to pay them back? And we'll love to see if they get paid back. But she's promising. And then somebody was like, can I have Chime? Now she has multiple, but she only wanted it on her CA. No, she doesn't get SSI. She apparently gets a check from a wife that passed away. But she's working. So, but we all know that my problem isn't that she's working, because proud of her for that. It's the fact that she left a comfortable situation where she could have stacked her bread until she could get an apartment of her own to go stay in a hotel and pretend like she's homeless at no fault of her own. She chose to go back to the hotel. She didn't have to. But anyway, this is my thing. And this is the question that I have to ask. She works at a grocery store restaurant, which means if she needed something, could it have been sold at the store she works at? And therefore she wouldn't need anybody to order it for her and then an Uber to get it? See, do y'all listen and think, or are you so eager to help somebody with your money that you don't even ask a simple question? Why would somebody else have to buy her food or something from a grocery store when she works at one? Correct, Brandy. If you're not going to be able to take the time to decipher whether it's real or not, keep it in your pocket. Can you see the light? I'm not sure, one way or another. But I don't understand why people's discernment flies out the window when it comes to a stranger on the internet. Where if your cousin asked you, you would be like, you better figure it out. Don't you work at a grocery store? I mean, quick to cut them off. Mind you, she has family and they're not taking care of her. So why should you? Again, she wasn't kicked out. She left because she didn't want to abide by her grandmother's rules. Claudia's not doing that. Claudia didn't say, I'm going to move her in regardless. Claudia's like, you can't come here. And she's maintained a relationship with her family. But you're going to throw yours away because they said they don't want her to come stay here. So you give up your housing to now have to pay for a hotel room every day? Y'all have to stop getting taken advantage of. Exactly. Make it make sense. Thank you, Granny Annie. Yeah, let's stay focused. Because if we start talking about the things that aren't relevant to the conversation we're having right now, you sway the comment section into trying to follow that conversation rather than listening. Hey, Rochester. Who else? Oh, TikTok president, are you here? Because, thank you, Skittles. All right, if anybody sees TikTok president come back in, I want to talk about her cousin. Now, let's talk about Reese. So you guys might not remember him, but Reese was a bolo last October. And I've only talked about him the one time when he was a bolo. And for anybody new here, bolo stands for be on the lookout. And I give people that label when I've watched them long enough that I think they're suspect. But I want y'all to watch them too. I feel like they're on the spectrum, but I'm not ready to declare them quite yet. Reese is a homeless young man. I believe he's like in the Baltimore, D.C. area, but I'm not quite sure exactly where. But it doesn't matter where. Don't get me wrong. He seemed to have a job at one time, but he was just unhoused. And they were giving him hotel rooms most days. And he had a really good following. And when I just mentioned him the one time and we moved on. Well, some weeks later, he came to my live with his crew. Because they were spamming the chat with some code that they use. And he's like, I'm not a scammer. I'm not a beggar. The people who support me know what I need. And they're the ones who want to put me in a hotel. I don't even ask for it. I'm good. I'm like, okay. And they were in the chat. Okay. You know how I feel. If people know what you need, how much you need, and where to send it, you've had to tell them all of that. But, okay, no problem. Well, it seems like Reese's crew has faltered. They're not preemptively asking him what he needs. He's now begging for it. He's now begging for it. So he can't say anymore that it's just that they want to give it to him. And again, there's manipulation involved. He literally was like, I guess I'm going to have to go find an abandoned building to be in. And there's not going to be any heat or hot water or a bed to sleep in. I guess I'm going to have to find somewhere to charge my phone. And if I do, I'll come back. But I really could use a hotel room. That's not people asking you, sir. Right, Karma. Classic dry bag. That's not people asking you. That's you asking people. So don't, okay, I wasn't sure. Don't pretend like people are asking you. I don't know. Because you're now asking. Oh, thank you, Granny Andy. Good morning, Tooth Fairy.
Morning, Digital. I don't normally jump in boxes like this, but I've posted Reese a few times, and just to show what kind of person he is, he has probably more burner accounts than I do. Has messaged me with a bunch of homophobic slurs and stuff I can't even show, but he's threatened to pew pew me.
What?
Yeah. I just wanted to show what kind of person he is. He's sent me some nasty messages.
That's bananas. But he
And
wants to come
I
on it.
looked him up. He actually has pew pew charges. That's probably part of the reason why he can't get a job.
Wow. But this guy. What's crazy is that he tries to act like he's this very humble, hardworking young man that just fell into a hard time. Who knew he even had charges? That's crazy. But then to be mad at you and do that is even crazier. And and the reason why they do stuff like that is because they don't want their supporters to know that that's who they really are. I'm so sorry that he did that
It's
to
okay.
you.
It didn't scare me. I quit posting him because I go in his lives and there's like 3 people in there, so it's just not really worth it to me.
Exactly right. But I wanted to bring it full circle because he came in here acting like I don't say anything. The people who support me want to know where I'm staying and if I ate, and they want to send it, and I don't even have to say anything. Well, now that I've watched you recently, I know for a fact that's not true. Your crew of women that were taking care of you, they're not there anymore.
No, that's what he got really mad because his top supporter was a lady that actually sent him a lot of money, and he noticed that she had blocked him, but she was following me, and that's what made him really mad.
Oh. Well, that'll do it. I'm so
But
sorry he did that to you.
nah, it's okay. I got thick skin, and I mean he doesn't know who I am, so
Well, thank you for sharing that. Now we know exactly who he is.
yep. Well, thanks for letting me up.
Anytime.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you for sharing that because we wouldn't have known that any other way. I have 3 requests: a Wit, a Love Border Collies, and a Jessica Carson. If you want in the box, you have to tell me. But anyway, that's his at and his name. And you know what I always say? Does he know CC? You know what I say? Go watch him for yourself. Because now he can't come in here with his 5 people talking about I don't beg. Because yes, you too. No problem, honey. No problem. Next. I'm just bringing her up for one reason. A woman who can't figure out what to do from one day to the next, who is already pre-begging for a birthday in October when you don't even know where you're going to live in October, decides she's going to sit up and teach people how to use TikTok to make money. I'm sorry. I'm not going to take advice from somebody who has to beg on TikTok. Like, how are you teaching people how to make money and be successful on TikTok? The only thing you can teach them is how to turn initial success into beg talk. Yes, Turtle. That's all you can do. Because she's like, TikTok can change your life. Let me say this clearly. And I was going to save this for somebody else, but I'm going to say it now. TikTok is a social media platform. It is not a money-making app. That wasn't what it was designed for at all. Now, TikTok figured out that the more money they gave people is more money they could make. So they started to design things around making money. If you end up making money on the app, good for you. But that's TikTok created all of these things to make themselves money, not you. Now, people have been able to translate their TikTok into a business. And they get sponsorships. What's her name? Brene had a $20,000 a month thing with Chipotle. That's why she was there so much. $20,000 a month from Chipotle. She was able to flip her engagement into a job. But begging isn't it. And when you got tired of following the TikTok rules so that you had to share your earnings with TikTok, you went from that to begging directly into your bank account or your payment app. That's not how TikTok was designed. So if you want lessons on how to be successful on TikTok and translate that into making money, them is not where you need to get that advice from. She's like, believe in yourself and do it and set goals. What goal have you set? Oh, goodness, I can't even speak. What goal have you set, Zim, other than we got stuff coming up and I need you to pay for it? And how dare you sit there and act like you're trying to help the next generation when you literally stole $354 from people claiming it was for a water bill, knowing you didn't pay for it. She will talk about anything other than confessing to what she did and apologizing. How about you pay those people back? And I'm sure there's going to be people who are like, I don't care. You can spend the money on what you want. I gave it regardless. Yeah, that's all noble. But there were people in that crowd who gave money thinking that her family didn't have water. That is manipulation. And when you're getting money from people based on manipulation, sorry, you're wrong. I don't care what they say after the fact. If they just wanted to send you money, all you had to say was, I need money for things in the house. You wouldn't use your water getting cut off because the bill never got paid because you never put it in your name to get money out of people for a birthday party that you couldn't even do the proper calculations on. You knew you had $350 and you spent the top of that money on something for your man. It didn't even go to the kids. You got somebody paying $500 for you to get groceries when you get food stamps. And you don't even have a stove. And now that you have a baby with special needs, you want to exploit her illnesses, but then at the same time say she's great. Have you even done any research on her illnesses and how it's going to affect her later on in life? Have you prepared yourself for how difficult life will be for her and the kind of mother you need to be? There are support groups. But see, you don't want them because they're not going to hand you money. You want to utilize TikTok as your support group because they'll send you money. Now you want to celebrate rare illnesses? She will use anything as a money grab. You knew you weren't even paying that electric bill, and yet you still begged for it. But you want to say we're wrong for talking about her. She's a young mother with 6 kids, and why don't we help her? I will say this. I'm willing to get in anybody's box, and I am always respectful. But I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to try to offer you advice. I'm going to try to put you on the right path. It's your choice whether you take it or not. But see, they're so upset with what I say on my live that most of the time I'm blocked. I don't get the opportunity to have the conversation. But those who have been following me for some time will tell you I've been in lots of boxes offering advice, not just criticism. We believe he won't work because he's on child support. And when your family is receiving benefits, they want their money. The state wants their money back because you haven't stepped up to marry her and be the head of your household. So the state is the head of your household. And they're like, well, if you're not going to step up, then you're going to pay us for being head of your household. And the reason why they won't get married, in my opinion, while they'll be fiancés forever, is because once they get married, that changes the dynamic. The state says, well, you have a head of household now. The two of you are able-bodied adults. Take care of the 6 children the two of you have had. He is. He's absolutely on the case. Thank you, Diane. He absolutely is. So think about 6 children. Let's go back to 5. Do you know how much he would owe the state? He'd get his paycheck and wonder why he went to work. Miss Turtle, it looks like the landlords want her out. True karma, it is. But she wants to stand up and act like she's an example for a younger generation. Please find somebody more qualified to look up to. Looking up to someone who laid on her back and has 6 kids that she can't take care of is an incredibly low bar. With a man that's not willing to do whatever he has to do to take care of his family, but yet he'll get on this app and ask for money? How dare you ask strangers for money when you're not taking care of your own family? Make that make sense. And they're always like, I'll do anything for my kids. A closed mouth don't get fed. How about you go make it for your own? You always talk about there's nothing you won't do for your kids except get a job. Except take responsibility. So miss me with the nonsense. She's going to give these people lessons on being successful on TikTok. One day she's railing against battling, and then the next day she's battling. And I think she rails against it because she was making big money battling. And then when that started to wane, and she didn't want to share the percentage with TikTok anymore, she went to pay me directly. Because then I get all of it and I don't got to share it with TikTok. But then they'll say, and she in particular, TikTok is a job. You're not treating it like a job. And if it's your job, then you need to claim it on taxes. Not just the 6 kids you have, but the work that you do. No? When you do your little dancing videos while you're in the hospital at a doctor's appointment with your daughter and you make money on that video, that was you working, right? Really, Lika? Of course, Lady Army. Of course they have proof. But you know why they don't want to show it? Because they're not genuine and honest. So to show the proof would also show the lie. Instead of taking accountability for lying about the water bill, she flipped it and was like, well, you got exposed and I got exposed. So now what? How is that satisfactory to the people who gave you the money? They don't care anything about Boss Lady getting exposed. They should be worried about their money. And then even after she had the money, she continued to beg for the birthday party. That is diabolical. I have a couple of requests for the box. Her 2 oldest do go to school. Thank you, Coffee. Thank you to my mods. I know it is hard work in here today. Oh, okay. They just got to check. Yeah, if you want the box, let me know. Because with this little invite box up here, it's creating problems. Oh, okay. Good morning.
I'm under the weather, but I wanted to add to the topic about Zim. So she took her oldest 2 out. Her oldest 2 haven't been going to school.
What?
Yeah, she says she wants to homeschool them. That's because Kiki said that she was going to take hers out and homeschool hers. This new page that she is on and she's been battling. Um, that's one of Kiki's pages. She just changed the name. So she has to split not only those earnings with TikTok, but with Kiki as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened as far as the school goes. Maybe it was an attendance thing. Maybe they're on to her. I'm thinking that's what it is. But she removed, well, she said they weren't going back. And I know they missed a bunch of days last week. I can't remember if they even went at all last week. But yeah. And that's the only place of peace really that they have. The only place where they're going to get, any type of normal life, a meal, all of that. And to remove them from school, it's
But
mind blowing.
you don't. You're removing them from school like that's going to be easier, but you don't even teach the children that are at home anything. You just let them run wild. And I said the other day that you're like the little boy, he needs to learn how to sit down because when he goes to school, he's going to have to sit down. They need to be read to. They need to be shown things. And if you're spending that much time on TikTok, those kids aren't getting anything from either one of them. And now you're going to homeschool them? What? She thinks she's going to put those little girls in front of a computer and walk away?
I feel like it'll all be a money grab. I feel like she'll need computers and she'll need laptops to teach her kids and she'll need money for this and money for that. I think it's all a money grab.
That's crazy. Like the one thing that you, because anybody with any sense, 6 kids, you have a sick baby who's going back and forth to the doctor constantly. So now when you go to the doctor, this man that barely does anything but play the game is going to be responsible for all the children, when at least the two oldest were able to get out the house, have friends, talk to other people, and you're taking that away from them because you don't want to be clocked?
Her baby is very sick. She's having really bad breathing problems. We listened to her on live, and she sounds like a beat up car. That's how loud it is. She's having breathing problems. She had an appointment on, I think, Friday. She missed that appointment. Didn't go. Didn't take her. Said she was tired. She's exhausted. But
What?
the baby is extremely sick. For those that have been watching her, the baby can barely breathe.
But she's tired.
Yeah, say she's tired. She's tired.
That's bananas.
Yeah. And I wanted to let you know too. I'm not sure if I told you the last time, but we pulled some court records. She has put Sassy up for child support. He's
Yep.
up for child support. And he will have to pay, I guess, whenever they catch him. But an order has already been put into place to where his wages will be garnished, and if he files his taxes will be taken as well. But that's her whole being for getting a welfare check every month, because she has him up for child support. Basically has it looking like she doesn't know where he is. They can't find him, and he's sitting right up under her.
On live asking people for money.
Yep.
Like when he got on live the other day, she was live and he said the goal is $35 in the comments. Didn't explain what the $35 was. He was already at Walmart, so he had to have the money
I
for
don't think
whatever
he
he
was
was
at
going
Walmart.
for.
I think
Oh,
he
you
was right
don't?
there at the house. That's how they do. They play games like that. And then the
Oh.
next day they came back and had a goal for 150. Didn't say what it was for, but she kept saying, we gotta move, we're gonna have to move anyway. And I feel like that's what's up. I feel like they getting ready to have to get out that house. Cause the landlords, everybody want them gone.
Yeah. And they would prefer for them to just leave than have to take them to court, because that'll allow them to live there even longer. And I believe they want their house back, because that house is beautiful. I don't know what it's going to be like now,
He mentioned
but
that she's basically taking the whole neighborhood down. Just it's got Walmart buggies and stuff in the yard, it's unkept.
and
She's
I
just
know he knows the man shouldn't is not supposed to be there too.
right.
Yeah, she lied about the water bill. The owners of the home paid for the water bill, and she begged for it. She has a ninth grade education and she's gonna homeschool her kids. And what's crazy is that California is large, and she can't just say I'm homeschooling the kids. She has to have them in a program that has to be turned into the school district. But she's not gonna do any of that because she doesn't want to get clocked. Good morning. I'm so disappointed. And I'm disappointed in the supporters because they will use the excuse to themselves that they're helping the kids, but it's not really helping the kids. The kids are going to be there whether you send the money or not. You're helping the parents not be responsible for their children. Why do you think they can lay down and have more? Because y'all were paying for the first three.
I want to add, I want to say this too. Like her supporters, they know that she needs to change. They know that she needs to get it together for the sake of her kids. But she is their entertainment. Like you can put your AirPod in and you can listen to her ramble on and live for like 8 to 12 hours. So of course they want her on the app because she's entertaining. They're not gonna tell her what's right. They're not gonna want her off the app because like I said, she's the entertainment. There's been days where I've put in my AirPod and listened to her ramble on and lie. And before you know it, you look up and it's almost time to go. So therefore, they're not gonna tell her any better. They want her on the app continuously because she's just pure entertainment. That's it. That's it. They don't care about the kids. They don't care about her changing. They just want to watch for the entertainment. And that's it.
Well, Blossom, one of the things that happens is that the city has gotten so many phone calls, and she was told she didn't have to open the door, that they even suggested, I saw a video where the police even suggested that she go down there and tell them that it's TikTok harassment so that they don't rush or take it seriously. They said they still have to come and check, but it won't be anything urgent. Of course. And I don't think if you're tired but your baby is struggling to breathe, anybody who's a mother knows that when it comes to your babies, you get super strength. I wouldn't care how tired I was. If my baby was struggling to breathe, my tired would literally be in my back pocket. And you want to cry about being tired? But you laid down and had him, ma'am. You were tired before you had baby A. Good morning. Good morning for everybody coming in. Right, proud fire wife. How many of us have stayed up all night long, literally staring at our sleeping child because we want to make sure they were breathing? Like, come on. And you know you have a sick baby, but she's unserious. She wants a gold star for going to appointments. That is just the nature of the beast. She wants to be hailed as a great mother, and she has all these kids. Baby girl, the only two people that laid down were you and that man. There's no gold star from us.
They were trying to tell her to get sassy to take the baby to the doctor on Friday because she was so tired. She was pretty much like, no, he don't have the mental set. He don't have the mental capacity to take a baby to the doctor. But yet still, this somebody that you've laid down with and had 6 kids.
If he doesn't have the mental capacity, neither do you.
Correct.
Because the fact that you continue to have children, and of course she blames God for that. God gave me the babies. God wouldn't have gave them if you weren't laying down with them. Like, come on. And how you claiming all this stuff about God but stealing from your supporters?
She gets on my last nerve getting on playing with God. Everything is, and I'm a good mom. I'm going to do what I have to do to take care of my kids. Amen. Amen, check. Because God didn't give me this battle and God this and God that. Lying in the same sentence. I did.
You know I can't stand anything. Well, first of all, I want you to feel better.
Yeah, me too. I've been fighting her since Thursday night. But thank you for having me up. I'm going to get off. Thank y'all for the
You
gifts.
know you are always welcome. And keep doing what you do. Feel better. Good morning. Miss Carter, did you want a box?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Y'all, if you want a box, you got to put a box in the thing. We going to be here till 12 o'clock. No, we not. Trust me. White Sox is going to put his foot down. This is Kat. This is a recent picture from the other day. And she was begging for $60 for a hotel room. She was literally calling people out by name. Can you help me? Can you help me? Anything helps. Can you help me? And thankfully, while I was there, nobody sent her a dime. And why do I say thankfully? Because as long as she has a place to go or money in her pocket, she's not going to get better. See, she is focused on trying to make excuses for why she's in her situation. She lost her car, lost her job, lost her relationship, lied and said that woman cut her up because she caught her cheating. And then when she showed the bruises, they were perfect vertical lines on her leg. She made herself bleed, put it on the walls, and then took pictures and said, this is what she did to me. We know at one point she was living in a house with a rug dealer because he said, I saved some for us to do such and such, and I have such and such. And when people were like, what? Are you serious? She tried to end the live and come back and say that's not what was said. And I went directly at her mod. And I was like, so you're going to still mod for somebody who is in active addiction? And they tried to come up with some excuse like they heard it, but whatever. This idea that you're going to support somebody regardless of what they do, that's a social media thing. Because if they had to bring her around their kids, they wouldn't do it. If they had to let her come stay in their house, they wouldn't do it. But on social media, I can support whoever I want regardless. Well, then all you're saying to the larger social media community is that not only do you have no standards, but you don't care what the people around you do. You can see her destroying her life, and you're going to stand by and watch the show. Is that why? Because you could be a mod for anybody. But for some reason, being a mod for the worst of the worst is some sort of badge of honor. And again, wouldn't do it for a family member of theirs. And if something happened to her, guess what? They'll be like, it was the anti-scam community. No, it was the community that kept giving her money. Because she clearly needs help. But you're in there modding so that the truth doesn't come out. So that people, because you don't want to give your money anymore. So you don't want the truth to come out so other people don't give her money. Because then she's going to turn to you and ask for the money. And as her mod, she's going to feel like you owe it to her. What's the saying? I think somebody said it last night. You are the company you keep. The Bible doesn't say you're a good person, you'll rub off on the bad person and make them good, because that's not our nature. The Bible says the bad will rub off on you. So be careful. She is looking really bad. Right backwoods. She looks really bad. Oh my goodness. I watched a video of her from JP from some time ago, even Faye for that matter. Look completely different. Wait, I saw TikTok president come in here. Are you here, baby? I don't know if her cousin is live and she's going back and forth. Hey, get a box, baby girl. Oh, she's live on Facebook? Oh, maybe you can't get a box. Okay, no worries. Let me just say this. Not a single thing. Oh, you're restricted? Okay. Again, when it comes to people you sit with, if she did to you, your brother, your dad, your cousin, what she's done to Kaden and Josh, you would hate her. You'd be all over the app complaining about what a horrible person she is. And yet, y'all are sitting in there applauding everything she does.
Good
Here you
morning.
are, Party. Good morning. So I just want to bring this out and then you can give us the good update. So I'm watching her bleach her hair, which, first of all, YouTube University is a real thing. Everybody knows that you don't bleach the roots, not only because they will lighten faster because of the heat closest to your scalp, but if it's going to burn, you start there. You don't start there because you're going to take it off before it gets to the place you want it to get to because it's burning. And she had a comb. You're supposed to go through and bleach each section, but that just shows you how lazy she is. Then she had brand new hair, right? And she kept saying, I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay for it. My friend, mind you, somebody she knew from when she was locked up, haven't seen in years. And she wants us to believe that this person just randomly asked her what she needed. But then let's take that a step further. Let's say the person was like, oh, because we know she gave her the sob story, right? Oh, is there anything you could need? You didn't ask for food. You didn't ask for toiletries. You didn't ask for anything that is a necessity of life. You asked for hair care products. Talking about, I think if I do my hair, it'll make me feel beautiful. You didn't say that the last time you did your hair, but then we'll come to TikTok to cry about being hungry or needing a vape. And she at one point she said, I want a, then she's like, no, I need a vape. If that's what you needed, why didn't you get that from your friend? Why was it hair? A completely unnecessary thing. Right, Georgianne. You don't have food, but you didn't think, well, if you get some stuff that'll last, get some canned stuff, get some stuff in the freezer that you can put in the microwave. She broke the window to this man's apartment to get back in, and y'all are sitting there praising her, calling her beautiful. Her being beautiful has nothing to do with the vile thing she has done. And y'all are sitting there with a straight face. Good morning, beautiful. Hey, you're beautiful regardless. That's all cool, well and good. But if you're going to be her friend, A real friend is gonna clock her too. A real friend is gonna be like, you know what? And then, wait, I'm sorry. Then she had a nerve to talk about how her cousin won't come save her. Well, you only want your cousin when you need saving. But when your cousin is telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing, she's a hater that you want to block. And why do people continue to sit there and put up with it? I don't understand. Okay, I'll be quiet.
The last 3 days have been a complete emotional wreck for me. And let me just say, I usually don't let Kristina trigger me on an emotional level. But when you have had life experiences where you have thought about ending your own life in the past and had addiction problems, and then you have to sit there and watch her on live not care about her life whatsoever or what happens to her. And she is continually repeating to everybody how she doesn't want to be here anymore, how she can't do this anymore, how she can't be alone and she's alone and has nobody. I've been very triggered the last 3 days. I've been an emotional wreck. I have tried to get counselors involved. I've tried to get the police officers involved. We literally spent the last 2 days, Carrie, Sarah, mainly, trying to pull together to get her a 5150 so that she would be demanded to seek some kind of medical attention. Well, it went down last night. I finally was able to get all the resources that were needed to be pulled in to have her be evaluated. For her to literally be on live saying she wanted to end her life, messaging multiple people saying she was going to end her life on TikTok and on the Book of Faces live, for us to show up to her house to have her evaluated and her deny everything.
What?
She acted completely normal. She acted completely fine. She was not intoxicated. She was, Dee, I'm telling you, I have never been so fooled in my life. The officer himself, I've had video recordings, I've had all the text messages, I had every ounce of proof I needed to have her 5150'd. But when the officers and the medical team and the ERS workers showed up there, and I showed up there, she was completely fine and normal. Even the officer said she deserves an Oscar, and this is clearly an internet act. What she is doing online is an internet act for attention or money or whatever it may be. She was completely fine. She refused services. She refused help. And on top of that, she made a complete mockery of us trying to get her any help. She said that it is me and my TikTok friends, and we are building a conspiracy against her based off of lies to have her look crazy so that way she's thrown in a mental hospital. It is our fault, not her fault. And I'm just done with it. I have taken so much heat in my DMs and my lives telling me that I'm not doing enough, that I need to be more active. What you guys don't understand is, yes, I stream her. Yes, I call out her bullshit and her scams and her lies. But you guys don't see everything that goes on the back end that me and Carrie and Sarah and everybody's working on to try and get her help.
Yep.
You guys don't see that shit. You guys didn't see me in here literally questioning myself.
Rusty, calm down.
Did I push her to a point that she was gonna kill herself?
Bestie, breathe.
It's okay.
You know,
First
you
of
guys
all,
don't see that stuff.
you know who you are. And people like to sit in criticism of what we do, but they wouldn't do half of what you've done. Their goal is to crack you. You have done more for her by streaming her. Let's just call a spade. And reaching out. She always throws you under the bus. You step up for her. And then she makes you the problem. And you and I had that conversation.
I know.
And I said, stop playing into it. You didn't tell me what you was doing because you know what I would have said.
And
But
I
I
will not be
understand
intervening anymore. I don't care what sob story she has on here on the internet. I told everybody the gloves are off. Do not DM me and say that I'm not doing enough. Do not DM me and say, oh, she needs help. I don't care what her situation is. She will have to figure it out on her own.
Heavy on the do not DM her.
Right. Y'all leave President alone because Kristina's a grown woman. And what I don't understand is that you guys have watched her manipulate Kaden, manipulate Josh. Listen, and I wrote this down. Do y'all not remember when she has had opportunities to be safe, to get a job, to have a bed to sleep in, counselors to talk to, and she's always walked away from it so that she can have the freedom to do what she wants to do. And half the time that was to be back with Kaden. When she was in that church program and acting like she found God, the moment they kicked Kaden out for beating her, she left that program. And then after that, she was in another program. And that's when I spoke to her. And I was like, you have an opportunity. Don't miss it. Take this opportunity. And I even talked, I was like, get a resume. She's like, I've never written a resume. Now, all the people in her life that quote unquote love her so much, did anybody step up and help her with that resume? I bet not. But then you want to turn, and you want to know why they came for you, President? Because they didn't want to have to do it. So it's real easy to throw the shot across the bow and say you need to do more because you're her family. But none of them would have stepped up and did the things that she did, that you did. And I'm sorry. And let me just say this. Your mental well-being is more important than anybody else's. And if your mental well-being is being challenged by the behavior of another person, they have to get cut off. Because she's playing the game. And now she's going to be on live talking about, can you believe what she did? Blah, blah,
She
blah.
already is this morning.
Of course she is. Because for her, it's all a show. She'll say, my cousin won't even come feed me. My cousin won't this. My cousin won't that. And when people, listen to me now, all of them will say, family has cut me off. I have nobody. This is why. And that's why I say to y'all, when they have family members and the family members won't step up, yes, there are times when the family member is bad, but it is usually because the family members have gotten fed up. They've done this over and over with the same outcome, and they've decided they don't want to stand on that side anymore. I'd rather not know anything because of the pain you have caused. But y'all will support a scammer who's taking advantage of their family, but y'all gonna come after a family member that has reached her limit, that has done everything? What is wrong with y'all? You always get it wrong. Why? And I am sorry. And next time you better come to me, because you know what I would have said.
I know.
You don't allow anybody else to affect your mental health when they don't even take their own seriously. Just like when she was like, I need help with Kaden, and then said to Kaden, it's my cousin's fault because she's watching me. It's all performative. And she doesn't care who she ruins along the way. Kaden's been indicted, and Lord knows how much time he's going to get locked up. She doesn't even care. She's looking for the next man. She then went back to the hospital and posted a video like Josh beat her up. After it wasn't that after she didn't get the OP?
Yep.
Do you see how she treats people? What does she think by creating that scenario that she's going to be able to stay even longer? Because that's all it is. It's to create. Oh, she even put his full name on the video. Somebody who is serious about that, they don't stay in that situation. They leave because it's his apartment. Why would you stay there? But she does it because everything is a show for her. Literally, her life is the stage. And after doing that to y'all, the fact that she'll still have mods and she'll still have supporters will blow my mind.
Oh yeah, her favorite little mod is on live with her right now, just completely trashing the whole scenario, boosting her up about how we helped conspire this and it's all to make her look bad and we're the ones that need to be 5150'd. Never mind Kristina being on live for the last 3 days, showing the meds she's been taking, showing the alcohol, acting very manic, messaging people saying she was going to unalive herself or harm herself, that she didn't want to be here. We are the problem. You know, I don't understand people's thinking how, and she's in the medical field.
And she's literally at work.
In the medical field, and you can't see for yourself what Kristina is doing is beyond me.
That's willful ignorance.
And might I add, Kayla is on there trashing us while at work, changing an elderly's diaper and talking about it while she bashes us.
What?
Yep, I got it on a recording.
I wouldn't.
She said, make sure you delete these lives so I don't get in trouble.
What?
Yep, she told him you stink and everything. I got that on camera.
Yep.
Sometimes you gotta violate your own principles.
But yeah, I am taking today for myself. I need it. I don't know.
Cat Daddy, you make sure you take care of my sister wife.
But
because she needs it. And I'm sorry. Do you have Instagram?
I do. I'll message you.
Please do.
Okay. But yeah,
please take the time. Don't allow anything. Take the time.
Yep, I will. I got you, honey.
Okay.
And I love
thank
you
you
so
for
much.
having her back, Vice President. Oh, you know I have your back.
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
We do love you guys.
We love y'all.
I love y'all too, except for you meanie weenies.
Yeah.
But all right, I love you, honey. I
love
will
you too.
be in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is narcissistic behavior. 110%. And Vice President, thank you because you're there day in and day out.
I love my bestie.
I know you do.
All
and
right.
we appreciate you. When nobody else is going to appreciate you, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can drop me now.
Okay, honey. Boy, does that make me angry. You know what? Since I'm already angry, let's talk about it. So we have had a series of lives and a brand new anti-scam, anti-awareness accounts get created. Now let me say this. I am glad that things have settled down. But I'm always going to call a spade a spade. When you say racist things and hang out with racists, you're racist adjacent. Period, point blank. Forgiveness doesn't mean that I have to accept you. It means that I've forgiven your bad behavior and I'm going to stand over here. It is my experience that when people do things when they are drunk, it is simply a reflection of what they are when they are not. And if while you're drunk and singing a song with the N-word in it and you say it, my experience is that when you're not live, when nobody is watching in the privacy of your car or your home, you say it as loud as you can. You go through the entire thing. Because when you never say it, when the song is played, drunk or not, you don't say it. It's not when you're rapping a song and there are words that you avoid. Let's say you don't curse. Let's say you don't use the word bitch. Let's say you don't use the word F. I'm trying to get better at cursing. When you don't do that every single time when you're not drunk, you don't say it when you're drunk. You avoid it. That is my understanding, Scam Slam, and I want you to go live and delineate it all. So while I will forgive you because we all make mistakes, and when I make mistakes, I want to be forgiven, that doesn't mean that I now see you as this shining light on a hill. I'm going to watch. And I'm going to see if anything else happens that confirms that bias. Now, 4K was brave and had courage, in my opinion, to come and face the truth as we knew it at the time. Some of her answers were acceptable to a lot of people and some weren't. But at the very least, she was willing to get in a box and have the conversation. So I'm not going to knock her for that, because there's a lot of people in the community that can sit there and talk about other people, but would never get in a box when they're talking about them. So for that, she gets 10 points from me. But what I didn't appreciate, yeah, we talked about that Scam Slam that night. But what I didn't appreciate was that even when she was getting called out for the bad behavior, Instead of people being like, well, yup, that was bad. I love her still, but that was bad. There were people who were like, so what? Who cares? What do you mean? Because if you can sit in criticism of other people, you have to be willing to take some constructive criticism. No, that's not how that works. If you are going to talk bad about people in what you consider to be private messages, that's who you really are, not what you put on TikTok. And so to get mad that private messages got shared but not apologize for the disgusting things that were said, you missed me on that one. That, in my opinion, is misdirection. But what I will give her credit for is that she recognized that calling Rochester a predator was too far, and she apologized. I will give her credit for that. She apologized for a lot of things that she has done in her recent past. And again, I will give her credit for that. And now we sit here and we watch. Now, I don't watch her lives like that. I'm not like saying that I'm going to be sitting there with a microphone watching every word. I don't have to. Other people will do that. I hope this is a turning point. But it's not just a turning point for her, but a turning point for anybody who sits in any live, watches bad behavior, and continues to sit there. You don't get to say you stand on X, Y, and Z. I don't bully. I don't talk bad about people. But then support the people who do so. We have a common courtesy, a contract amongst human beings. And if our goal is for them to stop taking advantage of other people, then that's what we have to do. We have to stand on that. Now, I want to talk to Awareness Unmasked. When you are interested in progress, when you are interested in something being fixed, you don't just point out the negative and let that hang there and look for people who support you. You don't actively try to connect with people who don't like us to confirm your bias. See, you have so many stories, it don't even make sense. You didn't come in saying, I'm writing an article or I'm writing a paper, I'm doing an analysis, and say, let me hear both sides. No, you came in with your bias. Your first videos made it clear that you were biased. It also made clear that you're not new to the awareness community. You've been here a while. You know who the players are. You know who doesn't like us and who does. And you ran around and you found your people. And how do we know? Because they're sitting in your comments. And then you want to turn around and say you're writing a paper or an article or whatever. You don't cause chaos if you're just doing an analysis. For you to lie to 4K and make her think that two people who have never worked together before have gotten together to destroy her when you knew it wasn't the case, and you never thought you'd get found out. How do I know? Because when it was found out, you tried to say, I heard it here, I heard it there, blah, blah, blah. I was just warning her. When you're here for analysis, why are you involving yourself in the process? But this is how I know you're a weakling. Because the moment you got exposed and the heat got turned on you, you ran. You said, I've gotten enough here, and you ran. And let me tell you why that's a weakling. Because if you had stayed long enough, you would have heard that the heat that started dissuaded by the end. And people who had problems with each other forgave each other and have agreed to move on. You only stayed long enough to hear the heat and the anger and the back and forth in the comments. But you were gone when it all calmed down. And people agreed to disagree, but move on. Why you run when the heat was on you? When you were exposed for creating drama that didn't exist. See, I told you the other day, leave my playground. Because I don't fall for anything. You're writing a paper and your agent was in the comments, then your agent is flawed. Is your agent Gabby? Because what? You lose your argument the moment you become involved in the story. So I feel like that's BS. Then, if you're such a good writer, why are you using ChatGPT to analyze us? And then you're going to say, I asked somebody to tell me what good they do. Again, phrased with bias, as if we do no good. Who has to answer to you? Who are you? That anybody has to make you understand anything. So hide behind your account. Use your ChatGPT answers to try to analyze people. But you have already lost. Because when you involve yourself in the story in a way that is biased towards your clear opinion, who hurt you? Who hurt you? Because this isn't objective. And if I'm the person you wrote, talking about you wrote somebody to ask them what good they do, wait on it. Because you'll never get a response from me. I don't have to justify myself to you at all. I'm good with what I do. I don't need your approval. And furthermore, this community is not a monolith. We don't all have to agree with everything. You don't like the way I do it? Go somewhere else. And if there's nobody doing it the way you think it should be done, turn your light on and do it. But if your only goal is to sit in criticism of the people you don't like without recognizing the positive of what we do, leave the community altogether. Just go. Find your people. But if your people are only people who don't like other people in a community that you swore you loved, go talk to somebody about it. Because making videos, coalescing around somebody who's just a hater, who just wants to see a divide in the community, think about it. Your reputation is on the line. Because how are you going to come back from this after agreeing with everything they said? Awareness T closed her account and ran. But y'all were supporting her, telling her she was doing a good job. And the moment she got caught out, what did she do? Did she say to y'all, I'm going to stick by y'all? No. She cut out and ran. But we're still here. We're still doing the work. Stop falling for everything. You don't like somebody, cool. What I love, though, what is so hypocritical for me, is when I was getting dragged, where was anybody making a page to talk about why are people going after digital? Crickets! Who made a video for me? Many videos got made about me. There's still people dragging me in comments over what I do, and I've been doing it over a year, as if a comment under a post is going to make any difference. Girl, I was raised in America as a black woman. If you think a bunch of comments and videos is going to move me one way or another, I promise you it's not. And y'all stop letting people move you too. Stand for something or get out of the way. Your enemy of your enemy is not your friend. Stop thinking that. You're friends by convenience. And the moment their grudge goes away, you're left holding the bag. And everybody now knows who you are. And then they cut and run. She questions why people had somebody in the box but wouldn't get on the box and stand on what they said. They cut and run. If y'all don't believe that what we're doing is for a good purpose, why still be here? Just go. Because to expect all of us to agree on everything is never going to happen. And if you want to say that certain people are trying to be gods and run the awareness community, but then you sit over here and criticize individuals in the community, who's trying to be God? Why do we have to agree on everything? We don't. And because we're adults, we leave space for people to do it the way that they want. Now, if you're going to be mean and nasty and cause problems, you're going to get called out. Sorry. We have a basic human standard. And whether you were in this community or another, that should be unacceptable. But if you can call us out, then we should be able to call you out. So hide behind your name, lie and talk about there's an article, a paper, or whatever. But when you make a premise, you don't just look for the people that make your bias correct. That's not how an article is written. Certainly not a professional one. An academic paper requires that you look at both sides. So to come out now and say you're looking for somebody to tell you the good that they did after you have trashed us for days, if you find somebody that's willing to do that, bless them, because it won't be me. You're not new to this community. So you know exactly what we do. Stop pretending now that you got called out. And y'all, stop falling for anything. We're not going to like everybody in the community. That should be okay. I don't like everybody, and damn sure everybody don't like me. But just remember, when you leap, just because somebody is confirming your bias, they're not going to stick around when you're falling without a rope. They're going to cut out and go do what else they want to do. Well, if you're on the fence, pick a side. It's your reputation because it's your page. And over here, we're going to keep doing regular scheduled programming. Now, let me say this out loud. I have said this from the beginning. If you have a problem with the way I do something, tell me. I have no problem with that. I'll either agree with you or disagree with you. I'll either make a change or I won't. I'm not afraid of constructive criticism. But if you're just going to sit there and overanalyze every little thing that's said, every little comment, but then you're going to cut and run before the end, miss me. Thank you guys for your support. I appreciate it. Now, this is just an update. I was just scrolling and I found her again. It seems like she's in a housing situation. And if she's still with Adam, I think he might be locked up. Don't quote me on it though. But she was live and they were on the phone and whatever the case may be. Now, I will give her credit. Where is it? She looks a lot better. And she was playing a video game while on the phone with him and live. She was a consummate beggar, Karma. She looks a lot better. So she wasn't begging. She was just live. And at first I was like, is that her? Oh, right, Jama. Sorry. So this is just an update. She changed her name. Harmony. I know her daughter is an adult, but the way she has isolated her daughter and the conversations they have tell me that she has kept her daughter from maturing as a young woman. But what bothered me more than the beg, which let me show you the beg. Where is it? This was her ask. Now I realize it's really small, but she was asking for a gift for $15,000 and $34,000, and she kept posting it over and over and over again. And how she said to this, she's like, "I'm accepting the leopard and the lion." Now nobody gave it to her, thankfully. But just for proof that it's the same, you can see the hair, it's the same person. That's the only reason why I did the picture that way. But the conversation that she had is very concerning. So first of all, she says that she's dating a 21-year-old, but that he lives at home with his parents. Yeah, of course she is. And then she made mention about how he couldn't come stay at the hotel with them because there wasn't enough room for him. And I'm thinking to myself, that's not the reason. Y'all are in one room in one bed. It was like her daughter being there wasn't the consideration. It was there was no room for his stuff. So the three of y'all gonna share a bed? And she did get around to that at the end. She was like, and it's one bed. But it's like her daughter is oblivious. She is the focus, and then it's like she doesn't exist. It's the weirdest thing. You will have to watch her for yourself to truly understand why I'm saying the things I'm saying. But then she started to talk about her life. First of all, since leaving, I guess, her parents' home, she has only had, in her entire adult life, 4 apartments. In her entire life, she's only had 4 apartments. They have been hotel hopping for the last 7 or 8 years. That doesn't sound like circumstances. That sounds like a choice. And then she says, wait, I lost my train of thought. Oh, she says that she has never given notice when she was going to leave the apartment. She would just leave, and she never asked for the deposit back. She just considered it her last month's rent. The fact that people are even in there listening to this crap is mind-boggling. I can't even stay the whole time because I can't continue to listen to the nonsense. So she's been going between California and Minnesota in hotels the whole time. And yet you've never allowed your daughter to actually experience life outside of a hotel room? She also confessed that she has a broken mirror on her car and no car insurance. But somehow, when she has to register the car, she's going to have insurance. So are you going to have insurance for the 1 month that it's going to take for you to register, and then you're going to let it lapse? Because this is the thing. If she matured her daughter could get a job. And then maybe they could afford something other than a hotel. But if you've been in hotels for 7 to 8 years, that's what you want. And you, ma'am, have never matured into having a life that feels settling. You're comfortable here. So when you act like you can't get food, or you need toiletries, or you need something, you have chosen this life. This life didn't choose you because you won't do what you need to do to get out of it. You're comfortable here. And then she says they don't have insurance. And I mean medical. And somebody said, well, why don't you get Medicaid, essentially? In California, it's called Medi-Cal. And she's like, I don't want that. So you have now put yourself at risk of financial ruin. What if your daughter gets sick? Are you going to tell her to drink Robitussin and it'll fix it? Always eating. How does that make sense? But like, she was eating in the live talking about this is a poor meal. This is how you eat when you're poor. You, ma'am, have chosen this. But of course, she needs to make people feel sorry for her. You're dating, supposedly, a 21-year-old that lives with his parents, but you're not allowing your 21-year-old, and I don't really know how old she is, but I know she's a young adult, to live her life to the full? You're not allowing her to meet people so she can get together and live her life? But you want to mess with a 21-year-old? But this was the part that made me leave. She said that she doesn't want life insurance because that'll put a target on her back. And even if her daughter was the beneficiary, it would put her and her daughter at risk. Do you know how stupid you sound? Do you have any idea how stupid you sound? Yes, Schindler, she has issues. Because now her obsession is a young artist. If you missed it the other day, let me show you. This is the young man. If you look at her name is his name, fan page. Yes, she goes back and forth apparently between Minnesota and California. And see, it's funny because when people say, well, how do you know this? I just listen. They tell all their business. I don't have to go look. They tell it all. But this is her obsession. A child. Now, he's an adult, don't get me wrong. But in comparison, you're worrying about a young man living his life and you have a young girl sitting next to you that you are preventing from living life. You are keeping her so wrapped up. She can't go anywhere. She can't talk to anybody. She can't do anything. And you go to work, what was it, 2 to 11? And you have interaction. You talk to people. And wait, I'm sorry. I forgot a part. Let's go back to her picture because she needs all the attention. She, at one point, says that children should be seen in public and not heard. Excuse me? Have you forgotten that you were a child at one point? That it annoys her when children make noise. And she started by saying that some children and some adults passed her in a store and looked at her and smiled, and she found that creepy. She's like, I think they know me from TikTok. Girl, you live in California. You are nobody in comparison to the stars that walk around California. Are you serious? And see, that's what makes people not want to be common and courteous. What do you mean they were weird for looking at you and smiling? If they had said hello, would you have jumped out of your skin? Like, what do you mean? But then she doesn't direct her ire at the adults. She directs it at the child. They're making noise. Mind you, she works in retail. So, of course, people are coming in with their children and it annoys her. Well, then get a job where you won't have to interact with children. Because that's just weird. But you used to be a child, and you have a child that used to be a child. And this is what she said that I was like, people say anything on the internet. So she's sitting there, and she's like, my daughter, if I told her I couldn't buy her something, she didn't have a tantrum. She just stole it. Was that supposed to be the better answer, Harmony? She's in here making comments? I came a long way? Girl, I know you're not in here making comments. Miss won the lottery but going to work every day. Someone in the chat has beef with you, girl. Who? Where the mods? Because they usually post beef. For what? Why are people who are not on the grid wanting the box? Oh, you can't pin? Probably because of this stupid thing. And I don't know how to get rid of it. You saw her for the first time? Does anybody know how I can get rid of that? It's no worries. Hold on. Got it. Okay, I came a long way. Hold on for a second. See if you guys can can do this thing now. Can you pin now? Somebody try to pin something? Yay! Thank you very much. Okay. I will as soon as I finish. So, I'll let you in the box. I don't have no problem with you being in the box. But in her mind, she feels like her daughter stealing is better than a child making noise. Somebody make sense of that to me. I'm less concerned about her and more concerned about her daughter. Because the idea that she thinks if nature takes its course, she won't be here anymore. What's that going to leave her daughter? How is her daughter going to survive? When you have disabled her. I don't know. Her daughter's an adult. She's not in high school. She's an adult. That she doesn't allow to leave the room and interact with people. And every day, Harmony is getting older. Somebody has to make it make sense. Oh wait, she has a friend in here? Frankie, are you her friend? Because I have real concerns. This isn't just a call out. Oh, she's a Daniel supporter. Never mind. Never mind. You should have been here while he was here. I'm not talking about him. This is a reminder for anybody who missed it earlier. We're going to do this on Thursday because there's no live on Friday. You know what, Frankie? Stick around. I'll give you a box. 1 second. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
By the way, congratulations on your housing and your job.
Thank you. I'm not coming to be disrespectful to nobody or anything like that. But I am coming on her just to ask a question. I did go on your page and I did see that you did post me in February, and I real life haven't even been on TikTok asking for anything or any of that. So I'm not understanding why am I still getting posted.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my book.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. See, y'all, I'm not stressed out and I'm not depressed no more. So I don't have a reason to wake up and be angry at the world.
Oh, okay. Let me say this. You were very angry with the world. And the problem, I'm trying to find it, but I think I remember.
Excuse me, you saying that I have a GoFundMe? Yes, ma'am, I did have a GoFundMe because at that time I was just down bad, doing bad. But I didn't come in the box to tell a sad story or make you guys come on my side. I'm not here for that. I mean, you guys have your own motive. You're going to always have your own perspective of me. And I can't make nobody change anything. And I'm okay with that.
Okay, hold on. Don't pay attention to me because is I'm the one that did it. So, Damika, let me say this to you. I'm not going to say that you don't ride hard for your children. And they're well behaved from what I can tell. But part of the problem, and this is like an auntie talking to you, I'm not talking down to you in any way. You get angry and react before you can even figure it out. And I think that if you remained a little calmer in situations, you get an easier time than the time you get. So, for instance, you were upset with somebody because you felt like it should have been their job to do so, right? But when you are talking to them and you're yelling and screaming and telling them what they should do, the likelihood that they're going to help you lessens than if you are calm and respectful. Now, I understand being in a stressful situation and feeling overwhelmed. But we have watched you when you're up, you'll be braggadocious. You can't say nothing to me. Look at me now, all my haters. And then the moment something isn't right, you want to come back to that same crowd and complain about the circumstances that you put yourself in. And that back and forth is always going to make people look at you some type of way, because you got to also remember something. While your children listen to you, they are watching you. And if they feel like every time a situation doesn't work out the way they think it should, and they react that way, you have black boys that you know if they act that way in the wrong circumstances, they can put their life at risk. They're watching you and listening to you while you go off on people on TikTok, while you come at people any kind of way you feel like it. That is not a good example for the children.
Excuse me. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but I just see the people in your comments just saying all type of crazy stuff. Could I promise you I'm not disrespectful.
But wait a
Number
minute. You're
one, I
watching the
see a lot of
comments and not
negativity
listening
comments
to
about
me.
me. Well,
Damika, if we're having a conversation and you're focused on
yes,
the comments,
I'm listening to you,
you
but I'm
can't
also just
be.
looking at the comments because why is can I just say this?
Go ahead.
How
I'm being
people
quiet.
just right off the bat judge you and things like that, and it's like, wow, the stuff that they are saying, these people don't even know me. And my thing is this: have you been under stress? Have you ever been a single parent of 5 children doing literally every single thing on your own? I'm not saying that I'm the first mom in the world that, has ever did this or anything like that, but it is a little harder when you don't have any help, when you can't pick up the phone and call your family. And no, I can't pick up the family and call my family.
She didn't get muted. Something must have happened.
We box place.
But
My
wait,
family crossed me
Damika, can I ask you a
when my
question?
mom passed away. That's
I'm
why I don't
sorry.
deal with my family.
But Damika, can I ask you a
Yes.
question? Who laid down and had those children? When you had the first one,
At the end of the day, these are my children.
Wait. But this is the thing. You knew at some point you couldn't take care of the number of children you had. That's not anybody else's cross.
No, ma'am. Hold on. Wait. Can I stop you right there? This is number one. I never ever said that I could not take care of my children. I never said that at all. I never got on TikTok and said, hey, y'all, I can't take care of my children. Now, yes, when I was not working, yes, when I was in a dark place, yes, I was struggling, but I never said that I could not financially take care of my children. I could not clothe my children. I could not feed my children.
You can't take care of your children. If other people have to give you money so that you can stay in a hotel, so your children have a place to stay, you cannot financially take care of your children.
Well, newsflash, nobody never paid for my room. What are you talking about? See, that be the thing. Y'all just get on here and y'all just say things and think y'all know what y'all talking about, and y'all don't know. I'm not going off or getting mad or anything. I'm just defending me because you're stating something that you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I can inbox you to prove that my room was already paid for.
So who paid for it?
I don't have to go into details about who paid for my room or any of that.
Did you pay for it?
We weren't just, ma'am. We don't have to do this. You wanted to ask me a question, and here it is. I'm answering the question, but it's like you are like trying to, I guess, come after me. I didn't come up here for that.
What did you come up here for then?
Because you guys are just always talking and saying this and saying that, and that don't be the truth at all. Just like you didn't say it, you didn't say it at all. But I'm pretty sure it's somebody that you deal with stated her car from St. Louis and all of this crazy mess. I never got a car from St. Louis. My car is paid off. Like, y'all just be talking and saying stuff.
Wait a minute, you can't put that off on me. I don't know nothing about your car. Never heard anything about your car.
But I specifically said that it wasn't you. I said that.
But you said somebody I deal with.
Yes, the other awareness people, like they on your page right now. I'm looking at them.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because we're going to talk about the things that I've actually seen and heard myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can't see or hear anything because you're not physically here in my state. What you mean? What you heard on the internet?
I'm talking about what you've done on TikTok. So yes, I can see and hear what you do on TikTok Live. It's your live, right?
Well, have you ever thought about people just do things to get their views up and things like that? Just like when I was in a tub with those shoes and they posted, oh my God, mental health is real. I wasn't the only one that made a video like that. So with that being said, why do I have to have mental issues because I did that?
Okay, let's stay focused. So why would you on a live?
Mm-hmm.
You had some beef with a baby daddy's new girlfriend, whatever the case may be. You told us all of that. Why would you on a live degrade her to talk about how she's homeless and doesn't have a car, but you have a car, knowing that you have struggled with homelessness and at one point didn't have a car? What was the point of doing that?
First off, when a person hotline your kids, baby, it's gonna always be smoke. It's gonna always be beef. See, y'all don't know what really went on the back end, but honey, when you play with my children, when you put my kids in harm's way, when you pulling up to my house saying what you gonna do and you gonna spit on my kids and my kids slow and all of that, baby, we gonna take it to God.
How she pull up to your house? She ain't had no way to get there.
See, this is exactly why y'all get gone off on. Have you ever heard of friends with cars? Like, come on now, lady, be for real.
Okay. Don't you're not going off on me. Because
I'm not going off. I'm not cussing. I'm not doing anything.
You came into my live. Nobody was talking about you. You asked for a box. I gave you a box.
Okay, at the end of the day, now you ask me questions. Now let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay, here it is. It's 8:09 in my city right now. Why do you feel the need to get up out your sleep and screen record people and talk about people's business? You don't have a job?
First of all, I don't screen record anybody.
Oh.
I get up. I don't screen record anybody. I do what I'm doing right now, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So you don't work on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays?
My bills are paid by not anybody else.
I didn't ask about. That's your problem right there. I didn't ask about no bills. I asked was you don't go to work on them days. That's all I asked. Why the smart comments? See, you want to throw smart comments at me, but when I go there with you, in which I'm not even gonna go there with you because it's not worth it. I'm growing. I'm getting past that stage because God has blessed me and my children too much to even be disrespectful to my elder. You old enough to be my mama, so I wouldn't even go there with you. Yes, I have in the past, but I'm changing.
You need to hope that you can reach my age.
I don't need to hope anything because I got God on my side.
Okay. Is there anything else? Because you literally just came up here to argue.
Lady, you got a smart mouth. So before we even go there, ma'am, okay, ma'am, that's fine. Just enjoy your day, okay? Enjoy your day. God bless you and God loves you. So now you can't ever say that I got up on your platform and I was disrespecting you and I was cussing at you because no, ma'am, I did not do that. But I am about to drop down because I have to get my children ready for school. Thank you for letting me come up. God bless everybody.
You have a wonderful day.
Yes, ma'am, I sure will.
See, just as an example, for anybody who's here, that's not how a conversation goes, right? She wanted to come up here. She asked me a question and then didn't let me answer it. For anybody who literally comes on here and begs for money, we have all seen it. The idea that we just randomly talked about her is insane. But I didn't even come at her about begging for money. I tried to talk to her like an aunt since I'm old enough to be her mother and talk about how she could be negatively impacting her children. I didn't even come at her about begging. If y'all recall, because I just went back and found my note. If y'all recall, when I brought her up, she was in a hotel room She had went and got some food and some drinks and was popping her collar like she did something big. And see, that's the problem. Pride comes before the fall. We remember when you were just down. Do we not? And you're so busy trying to impress a social media audience who you claim don't know you at all. And when you're down bad again, what you gonna do? You gonna cry about it? How you mean you could take care of your kids, but other people, you literally would go sit here and be like, I can't get my kids to school because the car is broken. And when people were like, get the bus, you if you have a child in the school system and they can't walk to school, they will provide bus service even if you're in a hotel. But did she take that step? No. She begged on here to get her car fixed. See, people think that you just make stuff up. I watch, I listen, and I take notes. But she got her 5 minutes, and that's how she chose to use it. Now, Frankie, did you ask for a box? Because clearly I'm on it today. I'm ready. Yeah, don't stoop to anybody's level, y'all. I can handle it. Don't worry. I got it. She didn't even answer the questions I asked, but then hit me with a question and then didn't allow me to ask it. I mean, to answer it. And then to question me and whether I work or not. Am I on here begging for money? Nope. The man I lay next to has a job. I know you're not in here. Okay, no. Whew. I saw a symbol and I thought it was somebody else. The man I lay next to has a job. He goes to work faithfully. So what's the problem? Right, crocheting gypsy. You laid down and had all of those children. It is you and the father of your children's responsibility, not people on TikTok. And I'm sorry you lost your mother. I lost mine too. And that's a very isolating situation. But that doesn't make your responsibilities anybody else's. Now, what's also funny is she's been in here multiple mornings. She just got a job, but and this is what I'm talking about, pride. You just got the job. And now you want to point the finger at me and question whether I have a job? Girl, you haven't gotten through your first 90 days. I'm sorry, crocheting gypsy. If anybody, you have all the reason in the world to fall apart. Anyway, is Frankie still here? Because let's just knock them off one at a time. Her page is I Came a Long Way 5. Most baby is I Came a Long Way 5. I remember when she was begging for food, begging for rides, begging for the hotel room. So what do you mean you could take care of your kids? If you could, then that means that you were lying the entire time you were asking people for money. I forgot that it was tax time. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, I forgot. And she's sitting there smoking a blunt. I gotta get ready for work, walking around the place. I know a lot of places now require that you don't smoke inside. That should be interesting.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't. Look, I just have one message for Damika. You know, Damika, you say you post for likes and follows sometimes, and I get it. You want to build up your page. I do get it. But people don't speed through the streets of St. Louis, march up to a school, and degrade and embarrass their child, and then smack them on live for likes and follows. They
Ooh,
don't do that. Okay. People don't do that. Yeah, we got a copy of that because you wanted that posted. You wanted that seen. And you got your likes and your follows because you wanted to go viral on degrading a child. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And those people you're talking about, that talk about your kids and they're in CPS, I keep telling you, those are your family, friends from Facebook that know you in the area. They talk about you like a dog because they reach out to me. And you also seem to jump into messy talks lives a lot too. And those are people who also are talking about you. Because I'm going to tell you, we're not talking about you over here. You know why I know that? Because I'm in awareness. No one cares.
at all.
We're happy you have a job. We're happy that you have a place to live. Now take care of your kids. They're not our responsibility.
Correct.
Use that energy and time to get money from their daddies.
Ooh. She even called her baby daddy on live one time to ask him for something. And then was like, see, he don't do nothing. As if that means that the people on TikTok have to give you the money your baby daddy isn't. All of it's performative. And do you see? This is why when people give these people their money, it is a joke to them. They don't care about you. They act like they care, but they're just in it for your money. Because the moment they don't need it anymore, they never needed it.
That's it. And she gets on live and she begs and she begs. And then when she has some money in her pocket, the little bit of money she thinks is big money in her pocket, she brags about it.
Pride before the fall, baby. Don't just say God bless. Read the Bible. It's a mirror and a sword. It will illuminate you and it will cut you. And none of us are perfect, by the way. I'm not either. I make mistakes. I sin every single day. But I'm not going to throw around God when it's convenient and leave out the parts that condemn what I do. Don't come in here about God and the Bible and all of that. Because I promise you, God would have said to you, why are you having so many kids without getting married? Huh? Huh? Since you love God so much, God would say all of your carrying on live, doing things for clicks and views. Is that godly? Smacking your child on live? Is that godly? No. And what about God saying, turn the other cheek, that vengeance was his? So when it's up, no matter what, that's not godly. Let God work on you, dear, and don't come in here because I'm not God. I don't have the same patience. But, I'm going to let you do what you
And I'm
do.
going to be honest with you, this is from people who don't have family and friends. They come into TikTok, they drop their life in here, and we're supposed to tell them what they want to hear. It's not going to happen that way. You've been on this line on TikTok. I've seen you 2 years now. 2 years. 2 years. Yeah, you've gone through a death. I'm sorry that you lost your mother. You've gone through all kind of weather situations. You dragged them kids from state to state. You move to places every 6 months.
Yep. Remember when she moved into her last place? It was the best thing since sliced bread. God blessed her to be there. And then as soon as she got in there, she started complaining about the neighbor and their kids. And then when it was time for her to go, when the landlord wanted her out, suddenly the house had mold and it was windy. You didn't see that when you first moved in because you were doing the same thing, popping your collar.
And let me just say for the people who are not in awareness that are in this live, yes. Oh, why don't y'all help her? Let me tell you something. There has been out of 2 years numerous times that we have offered resources. Tried to help her. Tried to tell her, don't do that. Don't move down south with those kids. That doesn't even make sense. Tried to tell her. We even got All for One to make some dedicated time for her. But see what happens, and just like this life person too, is they don't want to do the work. They don't want to fill out the paperwork. Or they so much on the run they can't fill out the paperwork.
Well, and in her case, the people who were there to offer resources, if it wasn't how she wanted it done, it wasn't good enough. She literally was talking to a woman and was like, "Why do I got to make the connection? Why don't you do your job? Why would anybody want to help you after that?"
Let me tell you something. Help is not like life, fast and quick like you have those babies.
Hey,
Okay,
Explosive.
it doesn't work that way. You want
No,
people
it
to help
doesn't.
you got to fill out the paperwork, you got to do the work. The check doesn't come immediately to get you in and out of it.
Let
And
Right,
me
yes,
let
you
Holly.
me
have
find a
That's
photo.
they don't want to put in the work. They want
no, and yes,
to.
you have been fortunate
Yeah.
that organizations have helped you to get into hotels, to get to settlements and all that. And I think you've learned that if you yell and scream loud enough and go to the news every time because you're on your fourth newscast, then it works for you.
You
But
listen
stop
to her
coming over to
say,
awareness. We don't care. We don't care. We don't talk about you. We don't care about you. I don't even post about you anymore. Do your thing. Be the baddest bitch you can be with your jobs and your children. Move on.
you
But you
just
know what?
listen to her say
Get
that.
yourself some help. You mentally need help.
She
You say
said
you
so.
need it. You say you
We just
need it. I
listened
don't
to
know
her
if
say that she didn't need the money for the room. Her room was already paid for, and it's always been like that. Like programs have been paying for her rent, they've been paying for her rooms. She's been getting food stamps for groceries, but yet and still she'll come out here and beg for those same items that she says she's in need of.
yeah.
Also, you got to be careful with her letting her up into your boxes because she'll do what they'll do. And it's all of the scammers. They'll act like they want to listen and want to change and come in and get in your box, and then they'll flip the narrative like she's probably doing now because somebody says she's on live claiming that she's being over here being bullied. That's what she does. That's why I don't let scammers come up because they don't want change. They do it to spin the narrative for a sympathy story so people so they can start acting like they being bullied so they can beg. That's what happens.
Exactly. Dealing with her is like spitting in the wind. It really is. Why bother? Why bother?
Notice that she can ask you questions, but you can't ask her one. And if you
Right.
ask her questions, she will never answer it. They'll never answer questions. They go all around it. And then they'll say, they always say, I can show you, I can prove it to you. But then when you ask them to prove it and show it, then they'll say, I don't have to show y'all shit. I don't have
Yeah.
to show y'all nothing.
And
It's the
Damika's
same
good for
stuff.
saying she hasn't come on live to beg. No,
Oh
but
my
what you
God.
do, Damika, is you make a post with all your Cash App information and you
Right,
ask for help for
right.
food, or
Oh,
you were asking for help for transportation, or you needed to go to the doctors and all this stuff.
And she got mad at the world and pull her pants down and show all of her private area
yep.
Yeah.
She
and
sure did.
everything. She showed everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the day you go up there and you smack that young man in his face in front of school mandated reporters, and then a week later CPS shows up to your house, and you gonna wonder why, and you
She
but you
said it was
blame it on
us.
Of
awareness.
She
course it
said
was.
it was
I was about to
she
say,
said it
of
was
course
us.
it was us. But when you do it on a public platform, you have lost your ability to claim privacy. What does
No,
she
the way
mean we
she went
don't
into
know
that
her?
school, the way she went into the school and showed out, I'm sure it was a school this time that called
Of
him her.
course.
Of
Of
course it
course it
was. Of
was.
course it was. And I didn't post that publicly. I post that within my awareness community friends to see what your character was and what you were like. But if you want me to change that over to public, I'll be happy to do that.
To add to that, y'all, she just now put I pulled the court documents. She just put one of her kids' fathers up for child support.
Just now.
She just did it. Yeah, I seen the court reports. She just now filed for child support.
But y'all been helping her. Y'all been the daddy all this time.
They won't
Well,
ask the daddies for nothing. but they
No.
went straight to TikTok and think TikTok's supposed to take care of responsibility. Right now, she balling out of control. Like the taxes dropped, they balling out of control right now.
Yeah.
In a couple
Uh-huh.
of weeks, maybe a month, they back to the same situation. And
Yep.
just like you said, Dee Dee, when she first get a house, oh, it's so nice. It's, property of the year. And then when she don't want to pay the rent or she ain't paying the rent, then now all of a sudden it's mold and her kids sick and she got asthma and all of that. It's
Right.
just a non-ending game.
Her asthma is so bad, but she's toting every chance she gets.
Yeah, like
Come on now.
the last job she had before this. People were happy, you got a job, whatever, whatever, move on, go ahead and do what you need to do. But then she came back because she lost the job because the baby daddy went up to the job and showed his ass.
But this is the thing. Wasn't she just in here the other day talking about she won the lottery? Like, you
Yes,
just say
yes.
anything.
Oh, yeah, she posts bank accounts. She posts all that stuff.
And
We
then she
don't
said she
care.
bought a mansion.
Yeah, I saw the mansion. I saw the mansion you bought where you had to climb up the stairs with the one key and go in. I saw that mansion. Uh-huh. That
Nicole,
million
you're
dollar
correct.
mansion.
I just haven't watched her enough. And when I started watching her right after that, her baby daddy passed, and I kind of left it alone because I understood that like that's trauma. By the way, if anybody wants a box, y'all have to put a box in the thing because I'm getting so many requests. Maggie, if you're still in here, baby girl, why? So you can go run over there and be like, I went in there and blah, blah, blah. Like, why? Maggie, are you upset because your numbers have reduced because nobody cares?
No, she's upset exactly because her numbers have been reduced. And also, she's a joke. People realize she's a joke.
You've been running from scammer to scammer to try to educate them for what? Because you know that you're just sending your people other places. Maggie's never going to get a box. In fact, Maggie is the person I won't give a box to because I don't think that it's intellectually fair. Anyway, thank you. What is up with today? Monday is the day.
It's
I'm
always on
not
a
going to get to
Monday.
everybody that we planned on. It's already 9:30.
It's always on a Monday. They get themselves riled up on Sunday night and then they throw some balls and they want to jump into people's boxes and speak about stuff that they're still lying about. Still lying about. They have no
But
time
was
zones of what it is they're doing.
and about people I haven't talked about. That's the other thing. Tell me you're on the grid today and you want to have a conversation.
That's Damika's MO, though, GD. That's her MO.
When
And
I
she
was
will
talking
jump into
about her
other people's
regularly,
boxes.
she was never in here. When I had her on the box and was talking about her, never here. But again, now that she's up, we're popping our collar. Well, guess what, Damika? We will still be here when it falls apart. And if you do what you do, you'll be right back on the grid. Don't
And
worry.
hey, Damika, since you're doing so well, take down those 3 GoFundMe's you got up.
She still got the GoFundMe's up? Wow.
And take down that other one that your fake person made for you, too.
Yes, I showed that. You are absolutely right. I don't know. Hold on. Y'all know because I like to bring the proof. Okay, let's do it. Damika, how many GoFundMe's do you need to have up at once? Mind you, remember my house caught on fire. Do you see how much money she got? Nothing to show for it. Maybe that's when she got the original car. Then do you see this one at the bottom? She had somebody named Stacy Adams do a GoFundMe for her. Baby girl, nobody is mad. Why don't you go back to your life? I thought you had to get your kids ready for school. How is this lies? What about this is a lie? This is just a screenshot, baby. See, when you come to play, be prepared to play. Let's see. Hold on. November the 19th, 2025, she created a GoFundMe. She was the organizer. Stacey Adams created the same one on the same day.
Yes.
You're trying to be slick. On the same day. Damika.
See what people fail to know is that even from her Facebook, she's a hustler. That's what she is. She's a hustler and a scammer. That's how she gets by. That's how she knows to get over. That's how she knows to live. And that's what she does.
Wait, now the answer is the money didn't come from TikTok. It doesn't matter. You are taking advantage of people. Why does it matter where the money comes from? Because that's splitting hairs. That's trying to say, oh, I'll come right up to the line. I'll tiptoe it over a little bit, but you don't get to talk about it. Right? A scam is a scam is a scam. But you don't ask anybody for anything. You take care of your own kids. This is your version of taking care of your kids? Well, what about those of us that had to take care of our kids when these things didn't exist? Damika, go back to your live, baby. Because you just running your mouth in the comments. We got real business to handle. You weren't the topic of conversation. Oh, now I got to show my face. See? No, the person mad is you. Because this is what you always do. You always crash out when you get questioned about your behavior. Damika, you came in here and asked for a box. Again, mind-blowing. Nobody was talking about you. And I was kind enough to give you a box, and I also praised you for where you are right now. Make it make sense. But you don't. What did you tell your people to come over here, and now they're getting a lesson you didn't expect them to get? Is that why? Girl, when you want to stay off my radar, stay off my radar. Don't come in here with red flashing lights, ask for a box, think you're going to check me, and then walk away like you did something. And then went right back and went live. Go take your kids to school. You got stuff to do.
And don't forget to take your little 10 people that normally follow you back with you.
Ridiculous. You asked for the box and then asked why you're being talked about. Because you came up here and tried to spin a narrative for people thinking that we don't have what we have. Completely derailing my life and who I wanted to talk about. So let's get back to it, y'all. Thank you for coming up. She could stay in the comments. I don't care. Now, let me put my old book away for my new book. So, Miss Raquel got people fighting for her life in my comment section, talking about how she's this great, wonderful person and that she doesn't ask for anything. that they decided for her. Again, listen to me now. If they know what you need, how much you need, and how to take care of it, they have done more because they know. Y'all don't go back and forth with her now. Let her flail out in the comments. The less y'all talk back to her, the less she'll have to say. Just let her flail out. Let her be who she is. And then the people will get to see it. Don't go back and forth with her. Correct, Mish. The people on TikTok mean absolutely nothing until they need something. So, Raquel, hello, Lisa Ray, got on TikTok the other day. Remember now, this is somebody who is desperately in need of a job, but forgot she had the interview. She didn't set a reminder, an alarm, nothing. And then pretended, and I'm going to say pretended, like she didn't realize what day it was and act so shocked and appalled. But the first words out of her mouth weren't, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to forgive myself. And of course, all of y'all, instead of holding her accountable in any way, shape, or form. Oh, yes, you've been sick. It's okay. So she's on the train going to her storage unit. So wait, you said you were homeless in an abandoned house and almost got unalived in Texas. How you get to Chicago with all of your stuff? All the time, Disturbed One. How did you get enough stuff from Texas that you have a storage unit, which clearly other people are paying for? So not only are they paying for you to have an Airbnb, because you're not in a hotel motel, you're in a beautiful Airbnb. They're paying for you to have a storage unit too? Any of that money floating to your children in Mexico? Or have you left that to the grandparents to figure out? Because see, that's part of my problem. You're acting like some innocent young girl who just fell down on her luck. And they're taking care of you, not your kids, who are actually the ones deserving. They keep extending her stay. She's not eating ramen noodles. She's eating good because her friends are helping her. But when she has the opportunity to help herself, she forgot. Aruba Jam, you don't have to apologize. You're an adult. You scroll out, don't apologize. You leave and come back, don't apologize. You don't owe anybody your full attention all the time. So don't apologize. But no, this is Friday. She misses the appointment Wednesday thinking it was Thursday. And she's so sick. But on Friday, she feels completely better. She's over it. And she's on the train and she's drinking a huge Starbucks. Who paid for that? and enjoying it and showing it like she's impressing somebody, and she's on her way to the storage unit because she wants to get markers, she claims, markers from her storage unit so she can write on the food in the refrigerator, because I guess it's a shared Airbnb. Can you imagine listening to her all the time on live from a shared, and she's all over the house. She don't just go live in her room. Can you imagine having to listen to that? But somebody ate 3 of her eggs. And she knows it wasn't her because she doesn't eat odd number food. She would only eat 2 eggs or 4 eggs, but never 3. You went all the way to your storage unit to get a marker that you could have went to the dollar store and got for $1? Okay. Y'all believe that if you want to. So she can write on her food. And because she's so open, all I have to do is listen. And you learn more and more and more. And unfortunately, well, sometimes the more I watch, it confirms that they're doing the right thing. And then there's people like Raquel, that the more they talk, the more I see how bad it is. Because, okay, they're paying the Airbnb. Bad enough. Then they're paying for your food. When you're homeless, you could get state assistance. But now with the new rules, you have to be actively working, volunteering something. And there again, they're not feeding you ramen noodles. You're eating good. And now there's a storage unit? She walks around like she doesn't have a care in the world. And let me say this, she's actually talented. She could actually have a TikTok career. She's talented. But she's not going to grow it naturally and allow TikTok to, she needs you to keep her comfortable. And then she said, I made it because people are stalking me. Apparently there's somebody named Haley that was her friend and is no longer her friend, who suddenly became her stalker. People watching you doesn't make them a stalker. A stalker is somebody who doesn't watch anybody else. I'm not a stalker. And I don't even know who Haley is. So dissuade yourself of the thought that we're working together. We're not. When I watch you, it's because I'm watching. I don't need anybody else. And in your case, I found you. Nobody sent you to me. So she said she made it now that she has stalkers and people hating on her. If that's your definition of made it, let me help you. Let me advise you that there's famous and infamous. They mean 2 different things. Then somebody tells her that the Scream movie is out. She doesn't say, I wish I could see it. Dang, I can't wait for it to come on TV. She's like, oh, I need to see what theater it's in. And then she's like, well, I don't have my tablet to look it up. And I would tell y'all, but because I have stalkers, I can't tell you to look up movie times for me. How are you going to the movies? I don't even want to go to the movies because they're so expensive. Again, not a care in the world. Why? Because if she looks at y'all and says, I really need a night out, it's been so stressful for me, somebody will send her the money to go to the movies. So there was somebody in the comments that mentioned something about being screwed by Social Security. And apparently they were saying that because they were taking less medication, Social Security determined that she no longer was ill. So they either reduced it or took it away or something like that. Now, I've never personally heard of that happening to anybody, but rules are changing. So I can't say that. But then her response is like, oh, but they'll give money to the rich. Which is true. They'll give tax breaks to the rich and take from the poor. It's been that way for centuries. But then this is what she says that tells you exactly who she is. Pay attention. She said, I don't understand why we work or pay taxes. I'm not doing it. Let me repeat that. I don't understand why we work and pay taxes. I'm not doing it. Excuse me? 2 days ago, you had an interview that you casually missed, that you so badly wanted. And now you don't understand why we work. By the way, you don't work. Why we work and pay taxes, I'm not doing it. For anybody in there that's still giving her money, you didn't have a question? But she doesn't mind that you go to work and give her money, but she's not going to participate in it. Somebody make that make sense to me. And again, you can try to be like, she's making me look bad. I didn't tell you to say it. I didn't goat you into saying it. I said nothing. So you can't be like, well, she asked me a question and I responded, and now she's just like Awareness Unmasked did. I don't create the chaos. I'm not a troll. I don't go in there and say things to get a reaction. I think people who do that are weaklings. Stand on what they say. You don't need to make them look worse. If they're bad, they're just bad. And if they're no longer bad, I'm sorry that you lost your cash cow. Find somebody else doing bad. I don't understand why we need to create chaos in their lives so we have somebody to show. I don't do that. This was her words by herself. And y'all are still paying for her to have somewhere to stay. So instead of being in my comments questioning me about your good person, why don't you ask her, what does she mean by that? And then this, when you think they can't go any lower, they do. I'm sorry for everybody who left because, well, they could watch it on YouTube. She said, I believe in natural selection and that we need to stop weakening our bloodline. Bitch, what? Then she realized and she pulled back and said, well, I'm not, to the woman on Social Security, I'm not talking about you because of what happened to you. But I do. And I don't care if people don't like me. I believe in natural selection. And we need to stop weakening our bloodline. Now that gives me all kinds of connotations. Are you talking about the ill shouldn't be able to reproduce? Are you talking about a race of people that shouldn't be able to reproduce or reproduce with your kind? Like, what are you talking about? Right, Lady Day? But then talks about how her mother had severe epilepsy and she had been a bartender, but the epilepsy was so bad that she could no longer work. By that standard, you shouldn't exist then. And if you don't exist, your kids shouldn't exist. Because natural selection would have said that we don't want your mama to pass on her epilepsy, so she shouldn't have been able to have kids. So you wouldn't exist, and then your children wouldn't exist. Are you okay? Are you okay? And the people sitting in her chat, are y'all okay? You don't have anybody in your family that's ill? Can you imagine you have a child that was born with an illness, not so debilitating that they couldn't lead a full life, but they had an illness? According to her logic, your child shouldn't be able to grow up, fall in love, and have children because we're weakening the bloodline. What bloodline are you speaking of, ma'am? Exactly, Lumpy. We know exactly what she means. The idea that you are going to take care of a woman who A, doesn't take care of her kids, B, doesn't believe that she needs to work within the system as it stands, so she doesn't intend to get a job, and C rather, believes that natural selection should determine who procreates, or else you're weakening the bloodline. Anybody who takes care of her after Friday, I have serious questions about who you are as a human being. Do not come to me and tell me she's a nice person you're taking care of. Because the more comfortable she gets, the more she's revealing who she is. And it's not looking good. Don't tell me that I'm twisting her words. These were her words. But guess what? She makes sure she has. She makes sure she has her 420. Who's paying for that? And why do you need that? Maybe I want to say people who smoke weed, they shouldn't be able to procreate because they're creating children who will want to smoke it too. Can you imagine people who can't get a job shouldn't be able to procreate because they're a drain on the system? Imagine me saying that. And let's not misunderstand. There was a time in American history where black women were sterilized after wanting us to have kids so that we could farm your farms. You then used us and sterilized us in your experiments. Let's not talk about what happened to the Jewish people because of natural selection. Let's not pretend that those things haven't been used against human beings who are just like you. But you want to slide all of that to the side so you can keep sending her money? I now question who you are. But I'm the bad person. I got it. I got it. Now it's 10 o'clock. Let me look at the grid real quick. Because I don't even know. Oh, shit. I got to do Tim and Angela. Got to do them. Sorry. I was about to end and then nope, sorry. Got to do them. He thinks, correct, Sherry, and that's why them taking things out of history books to make America look less vile is crazy to me. To want to say, there are literally people who say that black people were happier when we were slaves because we didn't complain as much. If we complained, we died. What do you mean we didn't complain as much? There wasn't as much racial tension back then. Of course there was. For us. But we couldn't tell you. And by the way, now that we're out of Black History Month, I'm going to put together a list of movies or television shows, but mostly movies, that you can watch if you haven't educated yourself. I figure entertainment is better than reading a book. Most people will watch a movie before they'll pick up a book. If you've never seen the television show Shaka Zulu, go watch it. Because you have to understand that before we were brought as slaves, we were kings and queens in our own right. We had the whole third world country. We taught y'all how to bathe. We taught y'all math. You had to go get spices and exotic things from other countries. We weren't uneducated walking around cannibalizing ourselves. We were kings and queens. We had community. We had government. We had societies. You want to take Harriet Tubman off of the page about the railroad? How? She is it. She is the one that made it happen. So go watch the movie Harriet if you haven't. Taking it out of school books, removing it from websites doesn't mean that it goes away. It just fits the narrative you want. But it still happens. You never watched the movie Selma? Go watch it. Because Selma was recorded and put on television. And that is what took people who were ignorant about what was really happening. They got to see it on TV and they didn't like it. And that's when things changed. I told you last year about the children who were going into integrating schools. Go watch some of the videos of children trying to integrate schools. And look at the women and men who were yelling and screaming about a 5-year-old going to kindergarten and the nasty things they said to her. So you can remove it from school books all you like. You can remove it from websites. But we still bleed the blood of our ancestors. You can't take that away from us. Imagine going to the Jews and telling them to go to Germany and tell Germany to take everything down down that represents what they went through, because we don't want to talk about that history anymore. Picture doing that. If there's something about this that you don't know, it is incumbent upon you to go find it. Go read about it. Because staying in ignorance doesn't help anything. You remember history so you don't repeat it. Learn it. Teach your children about it. So maybe when you see an angry black person, you don't think that they've had everything handed to them. It doesn't work that way. But if that's all you know and that's all you've heard, that's what you believe. That is why Faye thinks the way she did, because she was raised to believe that other people took it from her, and that's why she didn't have it. But explain why her sister is successful and she isn't, raised in the same household. Because Faye never wanted to have to work for it. She wanted it handed to her. She actually believes she is native to America. Girl, your forefathers aren't native here. How are you native? You're an American, but this land existed before you named it America. There were people here already. But when you choose willful ignorance, you get to ignore the facts. Sorry. Let's go to Tim and Angela. So you decide to go outside, drive away from where you're staying, and do the chat only screen. Sir, you go from one place to the other. You don't know what to pick. He's like, I didn't think about the fact that you couldn't see anything. Do you know how much easier it is for him to beg that way? He's going to stay that way. He's going to stay that way. Because it's much easier to beg. Because nobody can see you. Nobody can look at you and determine, are you lying? Is your inflection, you looking away, means something else? He's going to stay this way. So much easier to ask for money this way. But what was funny was he wanted to eliminate the boxes. That's not how that works. And I was cracking up. Yeah, Chase, he has to make it seem like he's in physical danger to explain why they would pack up and leave without the money they needed to leave. Y'all have to, are y'all discerning in any way? Are you so stuck up their butt because you think that people are coming after them that you don't even reason? Does it make sense? I talked about that the other day. They asked y'all for $600 to leave. And without getting that money, they were going around town saying goodbye to their friends and family. How'd they leave without the money? How did they get the hotel room they claim they're staying in without the money? He's saying, because he has to make it sound good, that they didn't make it to where they were going. And that's why they don't know the resources in the area. So what made you stop there? You don't know the resources in the area, but you done already had 3 interviews and you have a job that was supposed to start yesterday? What was your wife doing all that time? While you were out looking for a job, she couldn't have looked up the resources? She didn't know y'all was going to be hungry? But you have every excuse in the world for why you didn't make it on the day. That you didn't realize that it closed at 12 o'clock because you relied on Google. Anybody who gets resources knows you need to make a phone call. Because what if you had to fill out an application? Let's just say they stayed open until 5. What if the rule was you needed to fill out an application and then you could come back 24 hours? It's all an excuse. Because what was she, and then the whole, we're getting used to being here. If you're just staying in a hotel, what are you getting used to? Y'all are accustomed to living in a hotel. They begged for over $800 to fix the car. They found an apartment that didn't require first, last, or security. Didn't require security and last. All they had to do was come up with the money to move there. And now the story has completely shifted. I think they got to exactly where they were getting to. I think they just wanted money. And I still think they may have gotten housing, which means they are still in Tennessee. Because you can't get housing and then just transfer it to another state. I think you have to have it for like a year. But if they were able to move without the money, how'd they get a hotel for a week without the money? I'm telling you, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. But y'all are so still stuck up their butt. He's mad about the food stamps getting cut. Well, sir, did you care about it getting cut when you thought it was cutting other people that don't look like you? You didn't realize because you didn't read the room that it was going to affect everybody on food stamps. They are proud of knocking millions of people off of food stamps. Did you listen to the speech? Because I did. They are proud of themselves for doing that. Because they feel like you need to work. And because all this time you've been relying on other people, you didn't bat an eye. TikTok will fix it. And now you want to say that not only do you want to go out and work, but you want to work a work from home job that y'all can like share, where she works full time, and then when you get home from work, you're going to work a 4-hour shift. Two people who have been laying around for a year are suddenly going to work 2 full-time jobs, and he's going to do a part-time job. Correct. Correct, Carlene. Correct, Puppy Power. Because that's been his excuse all this time. That the car wasn't reliable enough to do DoorDash. Well, you got it fixed and you were able to drive away. So why you can't do DoorDash? You know why? Because I promise the insurance isn't covered. The insurance isn't paid for. Because if I recall, at the end of last year, it was supposed to expire. Correct, Carrie? And now that the system is squeezing them, now you want to get it together? Because, see, I can always look at somebody else and say, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it because you done laid down and had 4 kids. We shouldn't pay for that. But when it's you, we should pay for it. Because you're the one really in need. No, they never got the money. So how did they move? And then you get there, and the first thing you do is ask for food money. And when people bring up resources, you have an excuse for every single one. Oh, people think that the food bank is like a 24-hour grocery store. It's not. Nobody thinks that, sir. We all know that's not how it works, which means you don't get to be lazy and when you run out of food, try to find it. Soon as you got there, the first thing you should have figured out was resources. Now you want to call. Now that you're out of food, you want to call. Again, are we talking to adults? When you left, you didn't think about any of this? Of course you do as a responsible adult. But what has happened is that they have gotten so accustomed to needing something and getting the money off TikTok, they don't even bother. They don't even care anymore. Don't worry about it. We'll go to TikTok, we'll ask for it. And even if we don't get the full amount, we'll get enough to get us through the weekend. And then Monday, we'll reach out to resources. And if we find out we can't get the resource for another 3 or 4 days, we'll just come back to TikTok and ask for the money. That is literally what they do. They don't have a care in the world about it. They just have a bunch of excuses as to why they can't utilize a resource in their community. Well, we're going to look into that. You should have looked into it before you left. The moment, and of course, you got somewhere that you weren't intending. So of course, that's why you don't know anything. What adult does that? You are so busy trying to hide from mysterious people who have never stepped up to you, never caused you any actual harm. But you needed a new storyline because people stopped giving you money, because they realized this is a never-ending story. And that's why I want the trolls to stop. Stop writing letters. You are giving him exactly what he needs. And now he has a bunch of people who believe that he's terrified. But when he was terrifying that lady next door, that wasn't a problem. When he was banging on her door where she had no other way to get out and get away from him, that was okay because he was mad because she was talking about him. Do you see how it's okay for him to terrify somebody, but nobody better terrify him and his wife? If you want to box, you got to say so. It's ridiculous. And of course, we're supposed to forget all of the bad stuff they do. We're supposed to let it go. Now, apparently, somebody else got a letter. And this is the funny thing. He posted the letters. I thought the police had the letters. But when the heat got hot, let's remember now, when he needed to leave, the letters got posted, or a letter got posted. Before the police had it. And where is the police investigation? But when you needed to leave, you suddenly had a letter to post. I'm still waiting for the letter from McDonald's that said that they fired her because of phone calls from people on social media. Can we go back to that letter that you claim you have proof of? Since we're now producing letters that prove what we say, can we go back to that? Because let's remember, he falsely accused me of something. He didn't think I was able to get in his live, but I did. He let me in the box. He initially said, oh no, now that I hear your voice, that's not you. You've been hearing my voice for months. But you just wanted to throw that out there because digital is blocked. So she won't be able to come in here and defend herself. But while we're having this civil conversation, and now you need to apologize to me for falsely accusing me of something, let's talk about those letters. And as soon as I did, he dropped me. Why every time they drop me when I hit the red line? Because if this is about transparency and being open, right? You want to know why we have to talk about you this way, because you won't let us in a box and have a conversation. Why do they talk about me? Because you don't give us an opportunity to confront you directly. I'd love a box. And we all know when I get in a box, I'm respectful. I will even back down so that it's not an attack or they can't spin it that way. But you won't let me in a box because you don't want me to tell the truth. You only want your version told. And the reason why you make us the big bad wolf is because you don't want any of your people to come over here and find the truth out either. Because when they're in your echo chamber and they're seeing everybody agree with you, they think, okay, if everybody else agrees, then I can agree too. You don't allow any dissent. None. No real dissent. You'll let somebody who's talking a bunch of crap stay because that fits your narrative. But anybody with any sort of an educational bent, anybody that's able to analyze your nonsense, nah, we're not going to get a box. So as long as I can't get a box there, I'm going to use my platform to say what it is I want to say. And then you can run over there and spin whatever narrative you want. Guys, if you want to hear what I have to say, come over here and listen. Don't just listen to what he says, because they'll be like, I just wanted to hear what you had to say and I like you. That's because you won't come over here and hear what I have to say. How did you now? Because you didn't get to the apartment that you told everybody you were going to be able to get with their $600, right? Remember that. They had an apartment. But suddenly, without getting the money, they weren't able to get the place. And it's funny because the way he says that they didn't get the place alters just a little bit. One time it was, we couldn't make it there. Another time is, we lost the place. Another time is, we didn't get the money for it. But he says it so fast and so slick that they don't even recognize that he's saying it differently at different times. So which is the truth, Tim? Tell us the story. Did you not make it there and that's why you didn't get it? Did somebody else get the apartment? Or you didn't come up with the money so you couldn't get it? Which one was it? Because I'm trying to find an apartment that's going to let you move in without a security deposit or last month's, just first month's, and you don't have a job. So how are you going to pay it on month 2? They're not going to rely on, well, I can ask people on TikTok for money. Huh? I was a landlord for many years. I rented apartments for many years. I never got to rent an apartment without proof of income. So people in his chat, that makes sense to you? See, I think one of the reasons why they want to be so secretive is they're not actually in a hotel. But they don't want you to know where they are. Because it would change the narrative. If they didn't need help with housing, what you need help with now? But I'm speculating. I don't know. But based on what I do know, your story doesn't make sense. So make it make sense. He did, Squishy. He did. How'd you get the hotel room? Did a sycophant send you the money without you having to ask for it? Because we know that they send messages to people in their DMs asking for money all the time. Hey, how are you? Well, we ended up in a little bit of a bind, and we were looking to see if we could borrow $20. They don't promise to pay nothing back now because they done already got caught up. And I'm going to need you to stop saying y'all. Call out the person or stop it. Because you can't put me in the same category with someone who makes fun of your looks, who uses AI videos to make fun of you. I don't do that. You can't put me in the same category as people who stream. I don't do that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with streaming. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying he loves to say y'all so that we're all the big bad wolf. If somebody uses his photos to make an AI photo, we're all bad. That's not true. Address the person who's doing it or shut up. Because you're just using it as a narrative. Call them out like I'm calling you out specifically. That's like be like every person on TikTok that asks for money is a bad person. If I said that over and over and over again, would that make it true? It wouldn't. And that's not true. I don't cover every single person on TikTok that asks for money. That's not my standard. So if I can have a standard, then you need to have a standard. And then you barely can get a comment in there that's negative. Why do you focus on it so much? You already tell your people to mute and block them, but they always seem to manage to let a negative comment come through. Why is that? Because if I came in there and asked a question, I'd get muted and blocked immediately. Even if I was asking a legitimate question. Even if I came in there to say something nice, I'd get muted and blocked. Just because the names was digital. And anybody who sees anything that makes it look like I'm on some nastiness, trust me, it's not me. I don't do that. And since we have this fake account floating around, I don't know what they're out there doing. I have pages and pages of notes. He claims that he doesn't talk bad about anybody, which is why he likes to talk in broad strokes, because then he could say, I don't say anything bad about anybody, but they say bad things about me. But you said you didn't call Fallon a see you next Tuesday. Swore on it. Said I called somebody else that, but I didn't call Fallon that. And then the video came out. Where was your apology? Where was your apology? Because if I said that about Angela, you would demand an apology. Just because I don't like what you do doesn't give me the right to say that about her, right? So the same applies. Just because you don't like the way Fallon covers you or me or anybody else doesn't give you the right to say that. Where is your full-throated apology? And what's funny is, as far as I know, he has always been using God. But now God is working on him. He's reestablishing his relationship with God. Where did it go? Because you've been using it this whole time. He did apologize to Fallon. Good for him. I didn't hear it. First good thing you've done. Yeah, it was months later and it was after lying. But if he apologized, he apologized. Good for him. Somebody says something to him. Oh, I believe it. Somebody said something to him about asking for money because he came on twice Friday. And he said, I'm not on here for money because I took our payment apps out of the bio. So then why are you asking for food right now, sir? Correct, berries. But I'll give him props. If he apologized, he apologized. You took it out of your bio and you're still asking. Like, help me understand how those two statements make sense. And when he wasn't getting the money, he came back at 5 to talk about Angela's neurologist needing to get her a local doctor. See, you see how you talk too much? You see how you talk too much? Why do we need to know about that? Why is that for the consumption of the public? There's only going to be so many neurologists in that area. And if somebody takes the time and calls every neurologist, you'll be mad, right? Stop talking. And let's be clear, I don't got time to do that. I wouldn't do it if I had time. I find that to be completely unnecessary for what I do. But just like I told y'all in advance, that when he said he was in a hotel room with 20 rooms, he was doxing himself. And then he had a nerve and be like, I don't understand how they find me. That's how you know they're stalking me, because I don't know how they found me. You told us, dummy. You told us. Somebody who is truly afraid doesn't do that. But you need something to talk about in order to ask for the money. He claims that he is prepared to prove anything. But when you ask him for it, he finds a reason to not do it. What do they say? I can prove it. I can prove it. And then it's, I don't have to prove anything. Or they're going to use it to find me. How about you stop running your mouth and people will have less ability to find you? And this whole hiding behind this chat box thing, it won't make a difference. Because my issue isn't where you are. My issue isn't where you live or what you do in that town. I don't care. My issue is that you and your wife, for years, not 6 months, because people will be like, how long have you been homeless? Oh, off and on for about, it's been a straight 1.5 years that I have watched you beg on TikTok. And you were taking advantage of people before that because they had to evict you to get you out. Your family had to evict you to get you out. And they won the eviction. So that tells me either you weren't paying or you shouldn't have been there in the first place. So you're not you to taking advantage of a situation. You just switched who you can take advantage of. So you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I don't care if you coalesce around the anti-scam person. They will not change a single thing about my platform. So I'm going to remind y'all, be careful where you sit. Because birds of a feather flock together. And when I see you support bad behavior, I don't have to say anything. I just make note. If you are sitting somewhere where you see behavior that is below your standard, do not convince yourself to stay because you enjoy the rest. Create the space you want to see. See, people stay where they're uncomfortable because they think there's nowhere else for them to go. There are enough scammers to stream that everybody could stream all day long, 24 hours a day. If you're where you find the behavior to be piss poor, turn your light on. You know you're not going to have 300 people. But when people find out there is a safe space to go where people aren't crashing out, they're not sending money to scammers, they're not sending money to ask people to unblock them, they're not being mean, they're not sending people in to be mean to watch them crash out, they're not going gift for gift to make the scammer feel bad. They're not talking crap behind their backs and then acting like they don't in person. They're not doxing. They're not making phone calls. They're not threatening people. They're not telling people to pull up when they have no intentions on pulling up. They're not gangsters behind the scenes, but when something happens, they go run and hide. If you find the behavior deplorable, turn your light on and create a safe space instead of sitting there. It's like somebody saying they don't want to get blocked out of Ty Verbo's live, so they gift them because they don't want to get blocked. So what? It's not an excuse. Not when there are places you could go that it's not like that. You know why I went live? There were plenty of people doing what I do. I went live because I thought I had a different take. And I didn't want to get in 35 lives to give my take 35 places. Because that's what I was doing at one point. And people were like, she's everywhere. Because I didn't have my own platform. Now I do. And you don't see me everywhere like you used to. I try to go other places and support the people who support me. But then I get dragged for being everywhere. As if I don't come here and do it. Everybody is watching. Not just me. Everybody's watching. And while you think you may be in a safe space talking with the people who are like-minded, there's somebody there watching. And they don't mind sharing your bad behavior with other people. So if you have a standard, stick to it. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry we went over an hour. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I've been taking the time to create chapters for the YouTube videos. So if there's a particular person you want to see, you now can go to the YouTube channel and click on the chapter, and that is the part of it you will see. It's at Digital Deceiver Shadow, all one word, on YouTube. Sometimes I remember to tell y'all on TikTok, and sometimes I don't. Doing this chapter thing takes more time because I literally got to write down the hour, the minute, and the second. And then I have to type all of that into YouTube. It doesn't happen automatically. And then they create the chapters. But I think that's better. Thank you, Miss Coffee. Yes, all my lives have been updated. Now that this one is in March, there will be a March playlist, and you'll be able to hear it. But I will be doing those chapters going forward. It just takes me more time to get it done. You know, I appreciate you all spending time here with me. You could be spending it doing anything else. So I appreciate the support. Please like and support my mods. What they do is hard work. Oh, I saw Yazzie was on. She's been on a lot lately. Well, I mean, she's been on a lot. I didn't get to everybody, but we'll get to everybody eventually, because they don't stop, so neither will I. Just a reminder that we will not have a live on Wednesday morning, but we will have a live on the Lighthouse. I finally got permission to go live. Yes, please. You can recover if you're an addict. And I know it takes every single day to make it happen. Just know you have my support. AI just said, debating the ethics of supporting a creator known for begging for money. So, if you want to talk mental health, if you just want to hear about it, if you just want to come support, the account is the Lighthouse with Didi. It's already established. We'll be going live March 5th, which is Thursday night at 7 p.m. I'm not saying it's always going to be a Thursday at 7. I'm going to try to see who comes and try to figure out what the best time is for everybody. Yes, be safe on the TikTok streets. And if you get blocked, don't care. Find somebody streaming them. If they're not, create a new account and stream them. If what you need done isn't being done, do it. I don't have any mods on that account because I haven't gone live yet to set it up. But we'll get there. This is for the interloper that thought it would be a good idea to try to create chaos in a community that already has haters. This is for you. Hold on. Let me turn up the nosy person in the corner. I turned him down because he's always running his mouth. Echo. And this is an old school song. Echo. Play Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
Here's Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit on Amazon Music.
Everybody, please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. And please spend some time doing self-care. For all the rockers out there, that was for you too. I will see you guys Thursday evening. Please enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you then, or I'll see you on the street somewhere.